All right, how we doing, everybody, man? We got a jam-packed show today. A lot of special guests on today, man. As you know, this is Just Sizzling News Podcast, a basketball edition, so hold all your preceding questions until further time. But today we're bringing on a special group. I believe they're 13-2 right now. School out of North Cobb Christian, Coach Gregg, Matta, Isaiah Chandler, Jordan Wiseman, Grant Robich, and Xavier Butler, man. So with that being said, I'm gonna bring on my co-host, Naj Wilkins, and we'll get into it.
All right, what's going on, brother?
I can't complain, man. Loaded show today, man. Just excited to get to it.
Yes, sir, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. Bring everybody on. As I said, for those watching, it's going to be jam-packed, man. So we're going to bring on Coach Matta first. Coach, what's going on?
Hey, thank you guys for having us on, man. This is very, very special, and I'm just so excited to be here.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Bring on Grant. What's going on, Grant? How you doing, brother?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Appreciate you coming on.
All right. Got Jordan in the building. What's going on,
Hey,
Jordan?
how you doing? I'm good.
That's a pleasure. Good to see you, brother.
Got Xavier in the building. What's going on, Xavier? How you doing, brother?
That's good. I'm good. How about y'all?
Doing good. Appreciate you coming on. And last but not least, we got Isaiah down below, man. What's going on, Isaiah? How everything going, brother?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Doing good, man. Appreciate you coming on. All right, Bacon. So I'm gonna let you start us up, man. Any questions? I'll throw it. If you don't got nothing to say, y'all just mute so everybody can hear each other. If you're not talking, and then when it's directed to you, just unmute yourself. Go ahead, Bacon.
For sure, man. I ain't gonna lie, this jam-packed show, I had to be my screen full wide so I can see everybody without squinting. But first question for you, Coach Gregg. Just play high school ball at North Cobb Christian. What does it mean to you? Do you know what I mean, to come back and pour into these young men as somebody once back in the day poured into you?
You know, what's crazy about it, I've been there almost 20 years now, and it's just a very special place. You get to do things that you can't do at a lot of other places, and I've had some great players come throughout the years. We've had a lot of guys go on play at the next level, but this group right here, when they were younger, 8th grade, we always talked about staying the course. And these young men, they've stayed the course, and they fought and they battled, and we played through injuries. We played through everything. But these guys, there's something special here. And I just want to give back everything I can to them. I've had a lot of opportunities to do some things, and this is my home, and I want these boys to be, feel that they're at the home, and we're going to do whatever we can to, get to that, state title game again, and then help each one of these guys get to the next level.
For sure. Appreciate the answer, Coach. Specifically, what characteristics are you pouring into this team that you feel like they're going to need, not just in basketball, but as they go on with their days in life?
With this team right here, I mean, we've done so many special things. I mean, last week, we were doing missionary work at the local elementary schools. We were over at Ackworth Elementary, and these guys, pour into these young kids that don't have some, special things. And I mean, it's just unique to watch the different things that we get to do with these guys. And then with the basketball, like I said, I mean, they wear me out trying to get into the gym. I'm about ready to make copies of my key card to give to them.
Nah, 100%. So obviously this team is dedicated. Like I said, y'all are 12-3. Excuse me, I said 13-3, but y'all are 12-3, man. When you came into the year, did you expect that y'all be where y'all are at this point in time?
I've always expected great things with these guys. As I said, we've played through some injuries. We've had, some diversity go on. Yesterday we had 4 of our 5 starters weren't at practice. We've been fighting through some illnesses. Today we finally had a full practice and got out there and got up and down the court a little bit. So, no, we're right where I expected to be. A couple shots drop here, a couple shots drop here. It could be, the same. We could be, maybe 1 loss, maybe 2 losses. But again, this group, we learned from those 3 losses. We've learned a lot from each one of those losses.
Yes, sir. I want to take you through the schedule. You already talked about starting at the beginning of the season, battling adversity. You came straight into the heat. You played Chapel Hill, and you've already played Carver, Columbus, 2 athletic teams. Just walk me through starting the season in the Fire, playing Chapel Hill at home.
What we wanted to do is with this group, and we did it in the fall, we did it in the summer. We went to UAB, then we played the 2 live periods. We went into the fall. We played, a couple of the larger programs, public schools, and then going to the season, we wanted to have the very best. I mean, we started off our exhibition full blown out scrimmage against Wheeler, and I think we ended up losing 13 or 15 to Wheeler, which is just an unbelievable team. And I mean, it was a full blown game. And then we went, the Mount Vernon Classic. That's where we play Chapel Hill, Fertall Prep, which Fertall Prep is always at the top, the private leagues. We had Cherokee. We went over to James Clemens. We played in on the radar, or not on the radar hoops, but hoops giving. So we were just trying to prepare that we got to get back to that game. Last year we ran short. We happened to run into a guy named Caleb Wilson at Holy Innocents. And that night he decided he wasn't going to get beat. And Holy Innocents, just an outstanding program. So that was what we tried to do with this non-region schedule, is to get us prepared to play against Holy Innocents again.
Absolutely. Do you feel that private school basketball, back in the day, I feel like it's more uniform now. It used to be a controversy. Private school basketball is not up to the standard of public school basketball, but I feel like right now it's just about eye level. What's your opinion on that, Coach?
Oh, no, I agree with that 100%. Each of these guys could play anywhere they wanted to go and play. We're battling with the best, and we want to go against the best, win, lose, draw, whatever. It makes us better. It makes these guys better. And if we can, learn something. But right now I feel, as you say, we're getting invited to the, On the Radar. We hosted On the Radar at our place this past year, or 2 years in a row. So, I mean, they're looking to us, and, we're getting invited to go next year. We've already been invited to some very big tournaments out of state. So, we just have to, keep getting better and better.
Absolutely, Coach. And then for you, before I throw a couple questions in, just anybody in this panel who reminds them of you?
They all have a unique personality. I mean, Grant as a point guard, I as a point guard. I mean, he's over there in my head. You know what I mean? Isaiah just battles like he can. JoJo, he can almost jump the way I used to be able to jump back in the day. And then absolutely Xavier being a pain in the butt to the coach. That's what I was. So
100%. Go ahead, Naj.
All right, Coach. So I want to ask you, just going back to just the relationship you have with Coach Wallace. I know he coached with you for a couple of years. I'll probably ask him when he comes on a little bit later as well. But, he went off the Mount Perry, got them to, obviously a Final Four. You guys had a really great run, learned a lot of things. But talk about the relationship that you have with him, and just him with also your kids and the staff that's kind of allowed you guys to flourish as well.
Coach Wallace and I, we go back a long way, back when CJ was in 3rd grade. His son, CJ, was in 3rd grade coming through school, and I was watching him play. And, we did a lot of things in summertime, and we finally came together. I want to say we probably coached together 8 years. And I've always trusted Coach. I mean, a lot of coaches they want to be in control. They want to be in control. But I feel comfortable. Coach Wallace does all our scouting. He does all our preparation. He is a true basketball operations guy. And I'm not saying operations in that sense. He has everything in order. And I mean, he gets it to me. And you can ask the boys a little bit later. I mean, out on the court, I mean, he's got full reign. If he wants to stop, talk, whatever, I trust him, 100%, and he left for a couple of years. And then when I heard, he was the first call I made to come back. And like I said, you look at his scouts, you look at his detail, everything that he does. I mean, I'm just blessed to have him on the staff.
And then, Coach, just back to the team, do you feel like last year's late playoff push to the non-region schedule, do you feel like that's prepping you guys for this run you guys want to make and get to your kind of ultimate goal? Just these guys getting that experience that was on the team, going through that struggle, going through that adversity. Do you feel like that's better prepared them for a playoff run this year?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, these 4 guys, they were starters last year. We got a couple younger guys, a couple kids that come in, our depth isn't real deep right now. So, I mean, these guys have brought these younger guys along, and but we had to get those guys out there too. And I mean, it's like throwing them out there to the wolves. You know, they haven't been out in that situation before. So those are the things that we're trying to get these other guys to come along. These guys have been out there. I mean, we've played against some, great competition, over the last 2 years, and to get where we got to go, we got to have, 7-8 players playing at this level.
100%. I want to throw it to the players, man. I want to start with Jordan. We ended up, breaking down obviously your film, Jordan. But I just want to ask you. We'll put it on mute. But I just want to just ask this, your thoughts on your game, Jordan. What do you feel like you do well? I feel like you're a great paint presence. I feel like you can put the ball on the floor as well. But Jordan, what do you think makes your game, elite or to that next level?
I would say my defensibility and my athleticism. My speed, able to recover fast on defense, fill in transition, be able to finish around the rim is probably one of my best strengths on the court.
And then where do you feel like your game is kind of taking that evolution, that step, compared to maybe last year, that the game is kind of slowing down for you?
Being more comfortable on the court and not always going one speed. I'm starting to get comfortable a lot, not always going to the rim, getting my shot right. I'm just trying to be all around solid player.
And then, Grant, you can chime in on this too, but talk about you guys' relationship. Obviously, Grant sets the table. He's the point guard. So how do you guys kind of just lean off of each other, in terms of, getting the ball? Obviously, you can create your own offense, but how does he find you for different looks and get you in the rhythm as well?
Yeah, I mean, me and Jordan are close off the court. So when he comes up with me on defense in the front court, and we're able, all over the court, we're able to pressure guys. And then that kind of the defense chemistry builds to the offense. And then, I don't know, just after being in with a year, I start to realize where to put the ball in lobs, where to get it to him. And it's just really fun playing with an athletic guy like that works really hard.
For sure. And then staying with you, Grant, obviously, you have, great, different things about your game. I feel like your ability to create too, but you're unselfish. You feel like kind of, and y'all correct me from all as his teammates, feel like you're kind of like the hype guy, like you get them going, the energy. Talk about that part of your game as well and kind of getting the team, going each night.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to get everybody going, obviously, because you can't win with just one guy. But, I mean, they make it easy. Like, I get the ball to Zay, but he does the rest, like, in the post. And then Isaiah works so hard, so it's easy to get the ball to these guys because they just work so hard. So they're always in the gym with me, putting in the same amount of work. So it's really awesome playing with them and getting them the ball. And everybody gets each other going. Like, we're always hyping each other up before the game. That's never really a problem, but it's really fun, man.
For sure. I want to go real quick. Kind of sometimes a lost art. I know they call it two-way nowadays, but just the ability on the defensive side of the floor. How do you approach that side of the game? Are you a big pressure guy? Do you like to do full court? I know obviously you got to go within the scheme of Coach Matta, but how do you approach the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, ever since I played with Coach Matta, he's always gave me the free reign to press. So I always pick my man up full, try to set the tone for the rest of the team. I mean, being undersized too, it's really important you just always got to be causing problems. So that's always what I try to keep in mind is trust my guys and try to cause as much problems as I can defensively.
Last one for you, Grant, before I go to your next team, man. I want to talk to Isaiah a little bit. You're leading the team in scoring this year, 17.3. Looks like you shoot the ball very well from outside, but where do you feel like maybe your game is, like I said, taking that next step, or a game that's starting to kind of stand out a little bit now as you play opponents?
Yeah, I would say scoring all three levels. Like, the mid-range has went away a little bit, but I feel like for me, they talk about shooting at a high level. Like, you got to be able to shoot it above 60% or right around there. Mm-hmm. So when I'm able to get to the mid-range, that opens it up so much because then I flash middle and hit a mid-range, and then the next time they step up. So it's like these teams, they go zone. I'm able to hit that first mid-range, and then the pressure is taken off. I'm able to dump it off down low to Zay after that and kick it out to Isaiah and Jordan. I would say the mid-range is definitely something that's taken my game to the next level this year.
Got you. Now going to obviously Isaiah, I want to ask you a couple questions as well. So for you, what do you bring to this team? Obviously, Coach talked about you in the rave, manner, Isaiah, but what do you feel like you've been helping this team out a lot this year and playing at a high level?
This year, I feel like I've definitely brought attacking the rim. I always take pride in my defense, so just bringing energy on both offensive, defensive side. I think I've done a pretty good job of doing that this year.
And then you talked about attacking the rim, right? Sometimes, once you guys settle for shots, even when it's not going, but your ability to attack the rim, draw fouls can be crucial for the team. So how does that help out Matta when, hey, maybe it's not falling for one night for Grant or Jordan, but you can go get a bucket, get a foul, and go to the rim?
Definitely. You just got to find ways to create easy buckets. Like you said, every night, it's not going to be everybody's night, but just being able to get to the basket, draw fouls can get the team going, get some energy flowing, and it really helps a lot.
And then another one for you guys, if I go to Xavier, just where do you feel like your team has improved? You guys, coach just talked about you guys have played together for a while. Last year, obviously, you guys went through the adversity, but where do you feel like you guys have improved as a team to help you guys this season?
I definitely say our communication with each other. Last year, we'd have our ups and downs throughout the year, but I feel like this year we've done a much better job of communicating with each other, whether that's on or off the court, and just really learning to mature as we grow older.
100%. And then real quick, for you, Xavier, and obviously we'll pull it up here, but you have really great size. I think, and like I said, you can do a bunch of different things as well, but feels like you're kind of the glue of the team. But in your vantage point, Xavier, what do they, kind of depend on for you to do for this team this year? Obviously, you can rim, you can rebound, but what do you bring to this team, Xavier?
I definitely take a big role in my rebounding and realizing that even if I get the rebound, I'm able to push it up the court.
And then on the defensive side of the ball, do you feel like you can kind of like guard that 1 through 4, also be an interior defender? Like, where do you feel like you kind of rank where you are defensively this year?
Absolutely. I feel like usually I used to tell myself that I'm a big man and I've only guarded the forwards. But lately, coach has been pushing me in practice to guard point guards, and I feel like that's the next step of my game is being able to step out to the perimeter and guard 1 through 5.
And real quick, Xavier, obviously talk about the approach of that, but how do you go about that? Because like you said, you've always guarded bigs. Is that being more lateral? Is that guarding against Grant? Like how can you improve yourself where you can guard multiple positions despite being a big man?
Really just being more confident about it and telling myself that I know I can guard 1 through 5.
Got you. Last one before I throw it back to Bacon. So you actually got some questions. For you, Xavier, what do you feel like? Obviously, coach talked about, hey, he has to almost kind of, double his key card count because you guys never stay out of the gym. But why do you guys have that work ethic, that grind, that grit every single day and just constant knack for wanting to get better?
Well, knowing where we're capable of going, like as we went to the state championship last year, just knowing that we have a chip on our shoulder and high expectations. So getting that extra work in is never a second guess.
All right. Bacon, I throw it to you.
Yeah, guys, I want to ask, man, who is the quintessential leader on this team? Like, who gets everybody going? Is it Grant? Is it Zay? Jordan? Who is it for y'all? For whoever wants to answer, don't rush, not all at once.
I think it really just depends on the situation. I feel like we all have different leadership roles. Jordan, he always stays composed. Zay, he'll bring energy. Grant will bring energy. I feel like we all take different aspects of it and help our teammates all out in different ways. So I can't really just say it's one person.
Okay, for sure. For Wiseman, Jordan, I want to come back to you, man. You just talked about your focus this year is being more versatile. You know what I mean? When I watched you again, I watched a lot of your film. I couldn't quite pinpoint who I could compare you to. So from your vantage point, who do you think you play the most like?
I've heard a lot of names. When it comes to my athleticism, whoa. 1 sec. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Accidents do happen. This is live, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate everybody who's tuned in right now.
Lights gone. But I've heard names. My athleticism has been compared to John Morant, but I have these moments where I'm a little twitchy, so people have compared me to a little like D-Gar, but I haven't really heard a lot of names.
What was that last name?
Darius Garland.
Okay, Darius Garland. Okay, that's what's up, brother. That's high marks. There's one more year left, man. What do you see your game kind of elevating to?
In the future, I really want to complete my my shooting ability, because getting to the basket and finishing around the rim is really one of my advantages in my game. And if I believe if I really get that 3-point down, I can go D2, D1 possibly.
Okay, for sure. Grant, I got to come back to you, man. Probably definitely one of my favorite players that I've learned a lot about just here in this short point of time, man. You talked about playing 90 feet. I feel like that's key, man. That's how you could just get a scholarship off the bat, man, without knocking down a single bucket, man. What was instilled in you? Was it Coach Gregg, you know what I'm saying? Or was it you personally or a father figure or for a father that made you want to take pride in your defensive prowess?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Matta's always pushed me to do that too. But from a young age, like I would say 7, like my dad's we would do defensive slide drills for the whole entire court, like just doing the lines. And I didn't touch a ball mainly when I trained with him. He was just showing me all the little things that would pay off. And it kind of just became a habit. And then as we watched film on guys like TJ McConnell and stuff like that, you realize like if you're going to be undersized and you're going to have to pick up full court and cause problems. So just making that a habit, it's been like really good with Coach Matta and my dad pushing me to do that.
For sure. Now, how is it in practice? I know you know what I'm saying, you slapping the floor all the time. I'm assuming just how was it, you know what I'm saying, D'ing these guys up on the screen, man? Did they get like, come on now, Grant. It's practice.
Nah, bro, it's fun. I mean, I try on Zay, I try on Isaiah, and Jordan. It's hard, but I mean, we always push each other, whether it's king of the court or, well, I mean, we're always just pushing each other though. We know so much of each other's moves just being together for the past 3 years. But it's really fun. It's really fun with Zay trying to guard guards now too. He's slapping the floor now. It's awesome.
I got a question. It's a FOMO for all y'all. Who's winning the king of courts? Who's winning these 1-on-1s?
We know I did the most.
Your face. Look at Zay's face. Everybody like, I'm winning them. Go ahead, Vic. I just want to ask that.
Now go ahead, Zay. Guys, Zay trying to say something. Go ahead, brother.
No,
You're on mute.
I think he's talking to somebody. No, go ahead, Bacon.
All right, for sure. I was getting ready to come to Xavier for, you know what I'm saying, for Coach Gregg, man.
Microphone issue. Back now.
I did not expect you to walk. I thought you was in a whole different zone, my friend.
But now go ahead, Xavier. It's like you had something to say.
Oh, nah, just the face expression.
He knows I win the most. He thought about it.
I just love the competitiveness,
Nah, for sure. You seem, I was just looking at you at the bottom, you know what I mean? You seem real chill, man. So I was going to ask you, you take on more of the chill kind of personality on this team?
Oh, no, I'm going to crash out. I'm screaming in practice. I'm yelling. I'm just having fun, That's all about the game. Just have fun.
Now, we need somebody with the high energy. We need somebody who's going to block and take the charges at least more than 3 times during the game. That adds character to the game of basketball. So, Coach, I got to come back to you, man. I feel like you got something to say, Coach Gregg. Anything to add? You're on mute, Coach.
Yeah, you're on mute, Coach. It's to the left, Coach. If you go all the way to the left, you should be able to see it. I don't think he knows.
He seems persistent, though. I respect it.
Yeah, he's not the most equipped, Bacon, so you got to bear with him.
I believe in you, Coach. I know he got it, man. I know you got it. It's a lot of knowledge up there, man. But
ding, ding, ding.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, I do have something to say about that. Xavier, could you move away from Grant just in case a lightning bolt comes down through there? No, I'm just kidding. No, these guys, when they play that king on the court, it gets so intense. And I'll turn to Coach Carlos. I say, oh, we better stop this. We're going to end up in a fight someplace. And but they compete everything they do. And we had to start the season this year as, hey, boys, we need to take that energy and lift our teammates. We need to lift. We're not, getting on each other all the time. We need to lift. And it's amazing when these guys are working together and everything's coming in, and we're talking and we're going. And matter of fact, I joke about Xavier, but the other day we're getting ready to start practice and Xavier said, "Nope, huddle up, boys, huddle up." And I'm like, oh boy, what's he doing? And he's got him in a huddle and he's talking. And pretty soon it sounded like Kansas at a practice. I mean, we exploded. They were cheering and diving and going. And I was like, well, he got them going tonight. So, but those are the things each of these guys do. I mean, it's just amazing. I sit, on a bus and I listen to Isaiah talk basketball the whole time. He sits with the coaches up front and all he does is talk basketball, and they play games together. They, just riding on a bus trip the other night, we're going to play Murray County, which was, I want to say maybe 13-1 when we're going up there. And all I heard him talking about was the mission trip we were on. I'm like, hey, that's great. You guys were helping these kids, but we got a game to play tonight. So, but that's these guys. I mean, that's just the unique thing about them.
Being a well-seasoned coach like you are, Coach, when do you know when your team is flipped that switch and they're ready for this region play or ready for play beyond that?
It's hard. Sometimes it comes and we haven't switched that. Turn that switch on yet. I mean, we're still playing. We're still, practice. We're doing things. It's tough. We got, Rockmart tomorrow night. We got Jonesboro, Martin Luther King Day, which is going to be an outstanding game. And then we go back in. So there's just little things that are going right now. I mean, we're clicking, but the question you just asked, I'm not feeling okay, boom, we're ready. You know what I mean? And again, we've been through some injuries. We've been through some illnesses. So I'm just waiting for that, when I sit. And you can ask the boys too, though. I mean, this is the first team that I sit back and we get in a huddle. I'm like, what do you think? What do you want to play? Let's go to a zone. Let's go here. Okay, let's do it. I mean, usually a coach wants to be right on top of everything. But with these guys, I've been with them so long, it's like, what are you feeling? Let's go do it.
To add on to that, is that because players that they put a lot of more high level basketball? Like I know you got a couple EYBL players on this team. Is that the reason too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they play constantly. They're constantly, and like I said, we'll watch. I mean, I'm getting phone calls from these guys, late at night. Hey, you watching Purdue play? Hey, you watching Penn play? You watch, we talk all the time. No, I'm not watching them. I'm in bed.
Go on, Coach. You got one to the top game ever.
I taped it. I'll watch it in the morning.
Nah, 100%, Coach. So live autopsy, right? What I'm saying, what is you talk? I know you talked about injuries, missing time, but what would you like to see from this team to turn around to? Not turn around, but just take the next step forward to see that flip per se switch.
No, just to continue what they're doing, continue to love each other, continue to bring these younger guys on, and they just do a fantastic job. We got a couple of younger guys that, are doing things that there's no way they should be doing without these guys, none whatsoever. And it's awesome just to watch them, as we're going to the next level, just, loving each other, being part of each other. And I see Jordan's trying to hide again. So, but no, that's what this group is. It's special, and it's always special. And I don't care if we never win another ball game. I'll never have anything like this.
100%. I'm gonna throw it back to Naj after this. When you talk about how you love this team so much, and I can see it clearly just how tight the bond of this team is. Where would you rank this team in terms of out of all the teams you've coached? Where does this team rank in terms of like the joy to coach this club?
They're right there at the top. I've had some very, very special teams, so I can't take away from them. Back in early, 2008, with Dustin Ware, Matt Shaw, those guys. We won a national championship, state championship, and they did some special things. But again, with this group, and I know they work out. A lot of these guys work out with some of those players that, back in the day, Dustin Ware, some of them, still train with Dustin. But this group here is just something special. Like I said, they came and stay the course. And I'm not here to be negative on anything. And there's a lot of people pulling on these guys, wanting them to go, same with me. I tell a lot of people all the time, my brother's Thad Matta, but I'm staying at North Cobb Christian. This is where I'm from. This is what I want to do. And I want to take care of these kids, and we don't know D3, NAIA, D2, D1. We don't know. God knows where that plan is, but I want to make sure that they're ready when they are called upon.
Let me ask you this, Coach. What are the pillars of this program? What is kind of that standard? I know you talk about loving each other, being there for each other, get through the verse, but what are some things you set forth? Even like you said, when these young guys come in and Grant and Jordan, Isaiah and Zay, they're training them and they're kind of teaching them the ropes as well. What are some things you try to uphold this program by?
What I try to uphold, and we talked about it earlier in the cast, was, us competing, at the high level with the big schools. We're the little guy. We've always been the underdog. We're coming in, we're going to fight. And, we walked out of that North Gwinnett game the other night, and I had people saying, Coach, you guys come after. You said, that's what I expect. I mean, if we're going to compete with the big boys, that's what we have to do. And that's what the pillars is, just when they step on that court, and we talk all the time, when you step on the court, on that line, over that line, and on that court, we're going to give it everything you got. And you're going to be in a dogfight. Hey, you might get us, you might, but we're not going to lay down and let you just, hammer us.
And then, Coach, I know a lot of the not concern, but I know a lot of the focus was obviously beating Rockmart. You guys want to win that regular season region championship. But how impressed were you with your team just being able to get that victory against a really good team? Like I said, 13-1 at one point. The team seemed locked in and focused. How impressed were you with your team just coming out with that victory?
Oh yeah, I was very impressed. I mean, they were knocking down shots that I've never seen. They played to their very best. They got us down. I want to say we were down at halftime, 39-31, which we don't allow 40 points in a half, but we did that night. And 28 in the second quarter. I mean, we gave up 28 points in the second quarter, but they fought through everything. They fought through, and I mean, there was some controversy going on a little bit. We had to call a couple timeouts, settle down. We're okay, and then let's go out and do what we need to do.
Period. Last one for Coach. Before I go back to players, give me one word to describe each of these young men. Just one word, if you had to say to describe all four of them. It could be separate. It could be like Grant is this, Zay is this, Jordan's this. What would you describe?
Well, number one, for all four sitting here, they're special. And anybody that ever runs into them, works with them, do anything, they're very, very special. They put other people first all the time. And I mean, that is no doubt. They are very, very special. But if I had to, unique about all of them, they love each other. I mean, they love each other and they want to play for each other. And as I said earlier, we got a lot of people pulling, we need this, you need to be here, you need to play at a bigger school, you need to do this. No, we're staying right here and we're going to show you that we can do it here at North Cobb Christian. And that's what I love about these guys.
Now I'm going to throw it to the players. I want to ask you guys the same question. Just why do you guys choose to stay? And I want each of you guys to answer this question separately. Why do you guys choose to stay? And kind of just, I don't want to say get out the mud, because North Cobb Christian is a very good program, but you guys can go to a bigger program like a Wheeler or a Grayson, a Tri-Cities or Woodward Academy, but you guys choose to stay, and obviously play for Coach Matta. Why do you guys choose to do that?
For me, I mean, I was at the school when I was in preschool. It just happened to be that I can play basketball. So that's a funny part. But I mean, in this day and age, if you're good, they'll find you. And that's what Coach always speaks to us. I mean, like he said, his brother's Thad Matta, like he can make a phone call just like that. So we know playing in a smaller school, everyone's going to say what they want. But I mean, Coach Matta has a lot of connections. And then with social media, the way it is, you have a good game now, like the coaches are going to find you. And then obviously just the brotherhood that we have, like Coach said, we love each other. We're not going to leave each other and just leave one of each other without saying nothing, or we're all going to stay here and show people that you can do it at a smaller school like ours.
For me, just kind of like what Coach Matta was talking about earlier, staying the course. I've always really believed that ever since I got to school in 8th grade. He always talked about staying the course, and I had really saw something special, like between in 8th grade, it was me, Grant, and Zay, and then Jordan came in. I just always felt like something was special, like we could win something big. And I think last year whenever we made it to the state championship, it kind of just proved that. And, you know, people always say you can go to a bigger school, but why go to a bigger school when you can win something right where you're at?
I would say ever since I came since last year, you know, the family's been very welcoming and it made me feel home. Made me feel like I can, you know, be comfortable and play. You know, I love these guys very, very, very much, and playing with them is always very good and fun. And I don't want to leave that team. I'm gonna stay the course.
And for me, it's been so I don't really live close to my school at all. Like I've got a long distance, and I just know the community out there. Like people let me stay at their house. For instance, I'm with Grant right now. You know, so I just knew it was a good community when that came in play. And then like Isaiah, piggybacking off Isaiah and Coach, just staying the course and the brotherhood. So yeah.
For sure. And then I want to ask y'all, I know Coach Wallace in the background. I'm sure you'll appreciate this, but, you know, he came back over, obviously formerly a Mount parent, but how has he helped you guys' game out? I know Coach Matta talked about him obviously being kind of the operations. He gives them free reign, but how do you guys feel like your game has improved with, you know, obviously Coach Wallace being there for you?
Yeah, Coach Wallace, like Coach said, I've never seen scouts like he puts together since I've been playing basketball. I mean, no matter if the team's 1-12 or 12-1, he's going to do an in-depth scout on every single player on that team. And then anytime you want to text him, it'll be 10 o'clock at night. You can text him about your matchup. Like he'll always respond. And I've known him since middle school when he was back at our school too. And he just loves the game and he loves the players. Like anytime you want to talk to him, he's willing to.
Yeah, for me, I first met Coach Wallace when I came over in 8th grade. We were playing JV basketball in the summer, and he was our JV coach and really just instilled in us defense. And that's really carried on to even now. Like, as Grant was talking about, the scouting reports, just the detail he goes into, just putting emphasis on that defense because that's going to be really important trying to get to the next level. So I think just instilling that defense in us has helped us a lot and really helped us grow as players.
Throughout my course of knowing Coach Wallace, you know, it's been very short, but the connection we built is very strong, and the things he brings is, you know, energy and helps us stay focused and motivated, you know, in communication and staying focused and staying the course and never losing track and keeping tight.
Nah, absolutely. Like my relationship with Coach Wallace has always been very high, and he doesn't really yell too much, but he got on me a couple times so far, and I know it's for a good reason. And I knew I had to turn that switch right back on. So him just holding me accountable is always good.
For sure. Bacon, I'll throw it to you. I know I'll be school night for the players. I know they got a big game tomorrow, but that's all I got. But if you got any other ones before we let them go.
Nah, man, that's it for me, fellas. Man, appreciate y'all coming on again, man. And hopefully our roads will align as we cover the sport of basketball. But thanks again for coming on, players and coach.
Now, sorry, you said Coach Wallace. I don't see him. Is he got a mic?
Yeah, he's in the background.
I'd just like to ask him a question, Coach.
Sure.
What's up, Coach?
How are you feeling, man? You know, you've heard a lot of things positive about you. I just, Coach, you and I have had a great relationship over the years, and I just, you know, just want to let you get put your feel on this team.
Yeah, man. Like you said, I was going to chill this year. I was going to just sit back and relax and, you know, come out and support the boys, support other guys at other schools, which I still do. But Coach gave me a call and he was like, "Hey, man, I heard you sitting idle." And he was like, let's get one more good ride. And I was like, you know what? I said, "Coach, I'm going to think about it." And a couple of days later, we talked again, and I was like, let's do it. And it goes back to some of the relationships I formed with like a Grant, you know, early middle school, Isaiah and Zay when they came over in the 8th grade. Just believing in them. Even when I was at Mount Parent, if I saw them out, I would go to their AAU game still. I would still see them at Lake Point. And even I think this past summer at Lake Point, Zay was like, "Coach, you need to come on back, man. You need to come on back." And I just want a relationship with the guys, and being back, you know, I think I'm in the right place. I enjoy coaching the guys. I enjoy, you know, Coach giving me the opportunity to coach them, help out where I feel we need to focus on, you know, from scouting, from whatever it is. Coach gives me kind of the reins to, you know, give that input. And I respect the guys. They all work hard, man. They all work hard. It's a good, hard-working group. And we gonna do what Coach always say. We gotta hang a banner. That's
Exactly.
the goal. That's the ultimate goal. Hang that banner.
Yep. Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Coach.
One thing, while we got both of the coaches here, I want to ask you two this. For anybody who's trying to get into the coaching world, like Coach, I heard you chopping up a film. Like I remember the Titans where the math teacher cut up the film. This is every play. So when you're chopping up film like that, what does it take to be in the coaching field and perform at a high level where you're winning consistently?
Well, number one for me, and I'll let Coach speak for himself. Number one for me is just the trust. I know what he brings. I know what he's going to put out there. I know when I see that scout, and a lot of times it looks like, okay, hey, Coach, you're just, you know, we watch a lot of film and I watch a lot. He'll put it out and he'll even ask, Coach, you can put your comments in when you want to. No, I'm going to ride on you. We're going to go. I'm going to take this. We're going to go with it. And then let's put it in. And, you know, I might not feel like, hey, I don't want to put it in tonight. Let's put it in Saturday morning, you know, okay. And then we come together. And like I said, for anybody trying to get in to coaching, you just got to have somebody that you can trust, that you can bring on. And I got two other coaches that are the same way, that I just trust, you know, with everything. They've given everything to this program. But, you know, like I said, Coach and I've been together a long time, and he's got free reins. I mean, we've had timeouts. He told me the other night, you know, in that heated game, Coach, let me have this timeout. I said, okay, it's yours, you know.
Yep. And to piggyback, like Coach Jay Knapp always say, that's one of the assistant coaches. He always comes in last place and comment on things, and the guys call him the piggyback guy. So the piggyback on Coach is trust, you know, and we preach this to the guys. We're not going to be the top defensive team unless we trust each other.
Right.
You know, hey, if I'm guard my man, I got to trust if he does get past me, or if I'm shading him this way, that I got help behind me. And if I go help this guy, I know somebody's helping me on my side. So it's trust. And getting into coaching, I mean, for me, I started a long time ago. I mean, I used to just do like skill development help in middle school, coach a lot in AAU, and then, you know, got attached to North Cobb Christian when my son started over there in 3rd or 4th grade. And then coach and I formed a relationship. But ultimately, it's trust. And for me, I preach several things: preparation, got to be prepared, accountability, can't be afraid to hold people accountable, you know. And if you lock in on those things, you know, success will come. And these kids right here, these 4 guys, and the rest of the team too, they want to be held accountable. They want to be coached. And a lot of guys out here, you know, they're afraid to coach their star players because they're afraid they may leave, but this, that, and the other. But these guys want to be coached. They want to be held accountable. Like Zay just said a few minutes ago, yeah, I got on him for something, but Zay know what he has in him. I believe, you know, in Zay. So I just got to hold guys accountable. That's between Isaiah, Jordan, Matt, you know, whomever on the team. You got to come with it every day because it's going to make us better.
100%. Appreciate you, Coach. We don't want to hold y'all up, man. We know it's a school night, it's a big game tomorrow, so we don't want to hold any players by forgetting them Z's, even though they might be up watching basketball late tonight. But we want to give y'all the hands to the controllers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thanks to all the players that joined. All y'all have great games, so we appreciate y'all. We're gonna be following y'all, man, and good luck the rest of the way.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for
having
having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. No problem, y'all.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach.
You got it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Coach Gregg Matta. There we go. All right, Coach Wallace, man. Got you in.
How's it going, guys?
Can't complain.
Good, man. How you doing?
Oh, doing great, man. Doing great. How about y'all?
Going good, man. Staying busy. You know how we do.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
sir.
was good, man. That was good. Good for the guys. It was good. Good interview.
For
Great
sure.
personalities for sure. All right, coach. You know what I mean? Learned a lot about you, and you know what I'm saying, you definitely gave us some insight. Talked about you came in the communities, was training guys. But I want to dive deep into your, you know what I'm saying, if you can share as much as you can, just your process, how you break down film and what does that take, how many hours, just speak a little bit about your process of detail.
Yeah. What I try to do first is just look at a team without any kind of feedback. I don't go and like dive into what a player does. I kind of look at a team and see if I can figure out what their scheme is, or what they make their work on. What are they focused on? And once I do that, then I go back and just start dissecting. Like, okay, maybe start with the starting five. Like, who's their primary scorer? Who's the primary ball handler? Do they really work inside out? Or are they a 3-point shooting team? And then once I start doing that, then I start breaking down, the various sets that they run, and how do we defend that? And once I do that, then I can put together a nice scout, for the team. Simulate things in practice with our scout guys and JV team. We kind of have them go through and run the various sets, or run the various defensive sets, and set the guys up for opportunity. Like I tell the guys, like, hey, here are the answers. Like, what do you want to do with it? But they're very good. We normally get them the actual scout probably a day or two before, a couple of days before the game, just based on how the game week goes. They review that, and then we work in a practice plan.
How minute do you get down to the details? Are you checking body language before a
Yep.
Okay, yeah, you getting serious. Yeah.
Yep. I will definitely check body language. I will watch the main guy, or the third or fifth guy. Hey, he done missed 3 in a row, and look at him. Or somebody said something to this guy, look at his reaction. He got a foul called on him. Look how he's talking to the ref. And like I tell my guys, like, you can talk trash. I ain't got to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, primary scorer guy, I'm at the free throw line. And I thought you was the leading scorer. This guy done took 6 shots. You ain't took but 1. Just to mentally mess, because you can see it in film, and I go to games live too, just to see how what I see on film translates to what actually happened in the game. So I get pretty minute with it.
I like that. That's methodical right there. That's some mad scientist stuff right there. I like that, coach. Where did you get this from? Was it a previous coach, or just something you did as a player?
I mean, I would say it was probably a little Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
When he used to do his breakdowns, and just dissecting, not just how to go at a player, but just dissecting, people's mentality, their approach to the game, or, their kind of, let me see the word I'm looking for, just certain characteristics that a player had, and how they, when you see this, that they're about to do X, So that was part of it. And then just, being at a private school, even from, Northcroft Christian to Mount Perrin, the preparation is, our superpower.
Mm-hmm.
If we're prepared, we should be able to compete with anybody. It's going to be teams, bigger schools that have, the athletes that, we don't have. But I still think if we're prepared, we can compete with anybody.
That's a good point. Have you ever had a player? There's 2 more questions I'll throw it to you, Naj. Have you ever had a player to sit down with you and be like, Coach, I like the way you break these things down, and I want to have this skill set when I go to college and beyond. So let me kind of watch and see how you just do this. Have you ever had that?
I've had players, and I'll call out Isaiah, actually sent me a scout.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, and then that was early this season. He was like, hey, Coach, I watched the film we already put out there. Hey, this is my scout. And I was like, impressive. Yep, impressive. Get feedback from Grant, all the guys that were on, but then some of the guys that played, Jason, that, your feedback here and there. I'll be like, hey man, y'all watch film? Yeah, coach, I see number one is such and such, such and such. Okay, good. All right. And that's what we want to instill. I don't want you to just sit and wait. Hey, Coach Wallace is going to send me the scout on Thursday. I want you to take some ownership and saying, like, hey, I know the film is out there. We don't have a game until Friday. I'm going to go ahead and start watching it Monday. So when we hit practice playing Wednesday, I'm ready. And so we got guys like that.
How many?
I would say we got a team of about 9 solid kids. I would say probably 5 of them.
Okay, hey, that's over half pretty much.
But the good thing about it is the 5 upperclassmen. It's all our juniors. So that'll feed down because we have 1 senior, but our 5 juniors that we depend on a lot is going to filter down to the younger guys. They'll see what it takes. And actually, we had a conversation the other day with some of the guys that don't get a lot of playing time. And I just asked them, I said, like, hey, we're pretty much 9 deep. There are minutes to be had. Go get them. Study scout. Be a defensive menace in practice. Do the extra things so we can trust you to put you in the game to get those minutes. And so, I mean, some of the younger players, it takes a little bit for, the light bulb to click or whatever, but we keep doing what we're doing, they'll get it. Yep, they'll get it.
Last thing real quick before I throw it to Naj. Have you found another scout that's just as good or better than you, or are you the best?
I've heard a few. I've heard about a few. I know guys over at Wheeler do some good stuff. Coach Shep and Coach Thompson. I heard their staff has some good scouts. I think Coach Blair, from what I understand at Woodstock, heard he does some good stuff in preparing his team. Coach Washington at Pebblebrook, I've heard that he does some good things as well. But I think I can do it with anybody, man. I think if you give me time and give me film, and I got a team, I think I can put something together.
Okay.
You're on mute, Naj. Yeah,
appreciate y'all. My bad. Coach, I know you said, you had to like really think long and hard about it. And, if you want to decide to come back, obviously one last ride, or, you want to, kind of finish strong with this team. But what was that ultimate, I guess you could say, selling factor? You was like, okay, man, I'm going to do this. I'm gonna help out Coach Matta. We got a great relationship. What was that one factor you was like, yeah, let me do this?
I talked to my wife. And, when Coach Matta and I first talked, it was like, hey, you can come back and do some operations, basketball operations, consulting, you don't even have to come to every practice, da-da-da-da. My wife was like, boy, you lying. Right. She said, and honestly, like a couple of days ago, she was like, I knew when you started talking about consulting and you ain't got to go to every practice. She's like, you was lying. It's like, once you start, I knew you were going to be all in. And she knows me. I mean, we've been married 28 years, man. So she knew once I put my foot in there, I'm all in. And that's how I am. If I get into something, I'm kind of all in, be it with my kids or whatever they want to do growing up. Hey, you say you want to be in ballet, we hit it. What do we need to do for you to be the best? Hey, you want to be a baseball player? Okay, what do we need to do for you to be the best that you can be? And that's anything outside of sports, academically, whatever you wanted to do in college, whatever. Okay, what do you have to do to be the best? And I think, like I said, my wife was right. Once I got started, man, it was like, let's get it. And I was in it full blown, so it went from the quote unquote consultant to just like, hey, coach, like, nah, like you like associate head coach, let's go. Let's go. So, like I said, me and coach have a good relationship, and he had brought on a couple other guys, Coach Justin, that was there kind of the latter part of last year, and then Coach Taylor that was there a few years ago, and he came back, this year as well. And just meeting them and seeing their passion and everything, and I was like, I can't be halfway in it, and then expect somebody to respect what I'm doing, like okay, if I'm putting together a scout and I ain't there 3 practices out of the week, how I expect them to respect what I'm doing, like, and I'm coming in trying to run this, it wasn't going to work.
Right.
And yeah, once I got started, man, it was just like, like let's go, let's get it.
Got you. And then for you, you've been around a lot of great players, great coaches, great programs. What do you feel makes this team different? Obviously, we've talked about the camaraderie they got, the togetherness, the brotherhood, playing for one another, loving each other. But what makes this team you think different?
Well, like I said, I've known Grant probably since Grant was, but if we got there in the 4th grade, I've known him since he was probably in pre-K, kindergarten, 1st grade when he was at the school. Wow. I've seen him and known him. Isaiah and Zay came over to the school when they started the 8th grade. So we took them, and we knew we had a special group. And so we took them and we did them similar to another group that we had some years before. And we said, okay, this 8th grade group right here, we're going to play them JV. They may take some punches. They may take some bumps on the head or whatever, but it's going to make them better. And so I saw that in this group of kids. And, like I said, I still have relationships with them, even when I was at parent, still have relationships with them. And I just found myself seeing them similar to another group that we had. Like I said, with that group, we took them and they were in the 7th grade, and we were like, hey, y'all playing 8th grade. We playing everybody. We going out to Lake Point tip off. Y'all playing 8th grade, and Lithia Springs, and what's the school? I remember it with a passion. I know Lithia Springs, and I think it may have been Decatur or whatever. That little middle school program just smacked us. And I was like, it's okay. It's part of the process, guys. And so we went through that. And next year, that team ran a table in our region. Went undefeated in the region. I said it's a payout. And the same thing with this group. They paid their dues, 8th grade to JV, and once they hit their freshman, they were ready. They were ready. And now seeing them as juniors, I know they're ready, and it's something special. Like I said, I think we got what it takes to get over that last hurdle this year.
And then, Coach, obviously, Coach Matta talked about, but I want to get your take. You guys played a very tough non-region schedule. First time prep, James Clemens. How do you feel like that prepared you guys, man, when you go in the region, you playing some of these top teams, and you go to the postseason, being battle tested?
Yeah, and I think Coach Matta, he had put together a nice schedule, and he was doing it even prior to me coming back because our region isn't a top tier region. We have a few teams that'll give us some competition, but we knew that we had to play a tougher schedule. So if I looked at it this past weekend, we played Cherokee, we played Decula. Those are 2 top 10 6A teams right now. 6A, right? We played Jonesboro this coming Monday, MLK Day. They're like top 10 in 4A, whatever. Carver Columbus is number 1 right now in 2A. James Clemens is top 5 in Alabama. So those type of teams and that preparation will get us ready for the playoffs.
And then, Coach, how do you feel this team? I don't know if you coach this side of the ball, but maybe even from a holistic perspective, outside looking in, how do you feel like this team is playing defensively?
Defensively, we're getting there. Yeah, we're not where we want to be right now, which is fine, but we've seen improvement from game 1 to game 15. We're getting there. We're seeing the rotations better. We're seeing people taking pride in playing defense, helping the helper. We're seeing that, and we started some stuff up. We were a little late than normal starting it up, but we got them, with similar stuff that we have always done. Hey, I know you can give me 20 and 14 or 20 and 7 assists or whatever, but what about those grind points? What about fighting for that defensive rebound? What about diving on the floor? What about the loose ball? What about taking a charge? What about deflections? Those are the hustle points. So now we got our hard hat eagle of the game. So that person that leads in those categories, that's the guy. Get the hard hat. That's who we celebrate. Not to down the scoring piece of this, but we know for us, that's going to be the little piece that gets us over the hump. And so now it's people competing for that. You know what I mean? So if we got people competing for that, then I know they're locked in defensively. They're going a little bit extra for this because they know on the court, hey, I took a charge. That's 4 points, coach. Like, hey, okay, all right. Yep, let's go. I mean, that's what we want. And the guys are bought into it, though. Like I said, we hold them accountable. And accountability is the biggest thing. That's holding them accountable.
So I want to expand on that a little bit. You talked about wearing the hard hat, defensively buying in. So we talked about the four, right? Isaiah, Zay, obviously Jordan, Grant. But who's been kind of that guy that's been wearing that hard hat for you, or even a guy in the scout team in practice that's been very profound for you guys and had an impact? Who's been kind of underrated guy that's getting you guys, what I'm saying, going at this level and playing at this level that y'all are at?
Kid Jason Smith.
Jason Smith.
Without Jason the other night, we possibly could have lost that game. Remember, I told you, I said we need to lock in because we were supposed to be on last Thursday. I said that's a game we need to really. We talked as coaches, we need to lock in on. But Jason Smith, he's a new kid at the school, and defensively, and I saw him this summer. Even before I made the decision to come back, I went and supporting the boys and watching them over at Next Play 360, and I'm like, who is this kid? Like, like nobody said anything about him, and but nah, he's a quiet kid, but as soon as you put him on the court, defensively, like he literally took the Murray County's kid, their number one guard, out the other night. I mean, we literally said, "Hey, you're gonna face guard him, gonna frustrate him, and we're gonna do what we do." And he went to the assignment. I think he ended up with he was the hard hat Eagle of the game the other night, and he scored 12 points to fill in on that. But he's by far, that guy that comes in and turns it up. He plays his role, and like I said, he's a quiet guy, never complains, never says anything. He just comes out and gives it. And that's the guy. Yep.
One more before I throw it back to Bacon. Coach, I just want to know, I've never got a chance to ask you, I've always wanted to, but you have a really big impact on a lot of people. I know you've been coaching for a long time. I know what you do, obviously, off the court, and you do great things. But why you continue to do this, Coach? I know it probably won't be for the longest. I know this might be the last year for you, but why you could just in general, Coach? Why do you do this? Why do you try to impact these kids' lives, not just on the court, but also off the court, and be kind of that role model for them and somebody that they could take, Coach, these life lessons with them as they kind of navigate through this tough journey?
Man, it's for the kids, man. I like giving back. I like instilling a belief in kids that something can be accomplished if you put your mind to it and put your hard work in it. And I don't tell a lot of people, like, I played basketball growing up, man, and I didn't get to go to college and play through high school, but my parents never saw me play.
Right.
Not a game. My parents and my dad had to work all the time. My mom was, the one taking care of everything. I can remember AAU, like I would, literally stay at a friend's house for the weekend and travel with them. Like my parents never saw me play through middle school through high school ever. And so, that and nothing, negative or anything. It's just that I understand that they had to do what they had to do. They let me play basketball because they could have like, hey, we don't have time to pick you up from practice, this, that, and the other, whatever. I was riding bikes, we was walking to practice, stuff the kids ain't doing today. But
Nah.
I can remember, mom give us a couple of dollars and hey, we all walking to practice. Hey, you buy this type of Debbie snack cake, you buy this box, and you buy this box, and get us a jungle juice or whatever to drink. And we walking home. Okay, you get 3 oatmeal cream pies, you get 3 Star Crunches, you get whatever, some nutty bars or whatever. And then we stop by Burger King and get a little Whopper Jr. and we walk all the way home. But for me, it's just giving back to my kids. Once I form a relationship, I feel like, hey, like that's a kid of mine. And regardless of if I'm at the school or not, or with this AAU team or not, that's just a relationship I find. I still support kids over at Parent. I still support kids that have left North Cobb Christian, like Wyatt Thompson in Cartersville. Still keep in touch with him, go and watch him in the summer, going to go to a game next Saturday to catch him because this is the senior season. But just to give back and show kids that if you believe in something, you put in the work, you can accomplish anything. And then plus with me, my youngest son playing through at North Cobb Christian, he was kind of small, maybe a little bit bigger than Grant, but he was kind of smaller guard, the underdog. And then, he had to change various roles at North Cobb Christian from, being known as a scorer to needing to defend and then needing to facilitate. And, by the time his senior year was there, he went through his junior, senior year, he was a solid kid, solid player. And I told him, like I tell any other kid, like, just put in the work, trust the process. I'm not saying every kid's gonna go D1 and this, that, and the other, whatever, but just have fun and enjoy the process.
That's a great answer, Coach. Before we get back on that subject matter of life, I want to ask about the North Gwinnett game that went to overtime. I've been in that environment for playoff game, and I know that student section is legendary. So how do you prepare players for that type of environment when the student section go know their names and know where they're born at, and the whole?
Yeah. So we didn't have the privilege of playing in North Gwinnett and feeling that, but we felt a little bit because we was at Grayson and they had a little following, it's Gwinnett County, but they had a following. But you hear the guys calling out, hey Zay, I heard you're gonna miss this free throw, just talking trash, hey Grant, so just tell the kids like, hey, all the chirping, go out there and do what you do on the court. It'll shut it all down. And a lot of kids can't handle that. A lot of teams can't handle that, but I go back to it. And, I told this to y'all last year. Preparation prevents perspiration. If I am prepared, I'm not sweating for nothing. You may get me once, whatever. And that happened last year. We lost to St. Francis, remember? Lost to Mount Bethel, right? Lost to Walker, right? But that second time around, all right, let's go. So Walker, I know, hey, from scouting you, last time we focused on the wrong guy. We needed to focus on that guy right there. So guess what? We're going to come to you as a number 9 seed in the region. Y'all number 1 undefeated for the season. And we're going to take y'all down on y'all court. Now let's go. Now we on a neutral court. Now what's up, St. Francis? Got us on the buzzer. Y'all got us on the buzzer beater at the end of the game at y'all place. Now we playing for the championship. Now we prepared. Are y'all ready for us? And that's how I take it. That's how I take it. If I got time to prepare for you, and I got a squad that believes, we gonna be ready for you.
How long do you need?
I don't think I'm not being cocky. I'm not being arrogant. I'm just confident that if we're prepared and I got a team that believes, I'm ready for you.
How long do you need to prepare?
That's a great question.
Yeah, you give me a day. You give me a day to get my film in, and you give me a day to put a practice plan in. So like let's say for instance, we're playing North Gwinnett. We had to play a game on, I think, Friday, so we had them the following day or whatever, or that Monday or whatever. So we had a weekend to get ready for them. So it's just give me a day to put a plan in, with the guys at practice, and we're ready to go. And then if it ain't, I got to break in, hey, I'll prepare throughout the week for 2 of them, and we'll be ready. We'll be ready.
Now let me ask you this. You may have already answered this question, but what is what's the most toughest thing to install to specifically like high school kids?
It if we're trying to do something, with a zone and we're not used to playing a lot of zone, we kind of play a lot of man. We play predominantly man to man. So, the zone tendencies and knowing, your spacing areas that you need to cover in your rotations when the ball moves or reverses sides. Sometimes the kids that they slip on that. So we got to make sure during practice in preparation for it in scout, we kind of hit that and reiterate that, this is your area, your spaces, rotations, ball reversal, this is where we are. And then a lot of times when kids get in zones, they stop talking like they do when they're in man to man. So it's just a reminder, you're on defense, we're talking all the time, regardless of what we're in, zone or man.
All right, to build off that, let me ask you this. I'm sure you don't see, well, let me ask you this before I get to that. How high do offensive teams start their sets? Are they starting and say 3 people in front of that 3-point line? Are they starting at the 3-point line on the high school level? Just how far are they starting the offensive set?
Yeah, I would say probably a little bit above the 3-point line. They get to work. A lot of kids in schools are really trying to get downhill, so they're putting a lot of guys in pick and roll action or clearing out sides to kind of get downhill. So it's trying to figure out how you can navigate that. Is it ice and screen and rolls on the side? Is it hard hedging top of the key, or kind of wing screen and rolls? What's your backside rotation? Once we have a guy helping the helper, what's our scramble? We know we're gonna have a guy guarding 2, so you got to split those guys, and if that ball does rotate to one of them, you got to be the first one out there. Then we're in scramble mode. So I mean, it's most teams, I would say probably just a little above the 3-point line. A lot of teams don't like to play inside out. I mean, they may have bigs, but they don't utilize them a lot like they used to.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think we may get back to it, but we're all infatuated with the 3-point shot right now. To add on to that, what's your opinion about just the all-out trap in the corner? Like, you see the ball flies to the corner, are you incentivizing your kids to, all right, let's just trap them?
Yeah. We kind of teach our kids that if, especially if their back is kind of turned, we want to go ahead and blitz that and trap that, and then trust that the rotations will be there. I would say utilizing your length when you do pose those traps, and making sure guys are being lengthy in the gaps will help prevent that trap from burning you. A lot of times, a lot of people trap and they're not chasing with their hands, the ball, and guys kind of break through, the quote unquote pain, and then your trap is burned. So it's just teaching, body position, how not to let the guys out, trusting your rotations, and not just going through the motions of, when I'm here, and we double teamed him, like it's being active. It's being active.
100%. 2 more things I'll throw it back to you, Naj. I want to bring it back to life. You talked about how you played basketball a lot without your parents being at a game. Did you carry that chip on your shoulder where you went to other games on the road or at home? Mainly on the road. You see
Go ahead. I really didn't. I just back then I just thought it was that's just the way it was. We had a lot of kids that parents when I grew up in the projects, man. Look, everybody parents weren't able to come to the game, and there's probably 5 or 6 of us that were on the team. So that's why I would say we would walk, so we were accustomed to it. That's just how it was, and we just dealt with it. I mean, that was second nature. Back in the day on a Saturday morning, soon as Schoolhouse Rock go off, everybody gone, and you ain't coming home from 9 to almost 9 at night. Your parents knew you were good. You had to take care of yourself. You wasn't out causing trouble. So that was just part of it. Yeah, it was just part of it. I never even thought about it.
Like you just said, coming from the projects, what characteristics or what principles did you keep in the front of your mind to build yourself to where you are today?
Just work. I saw my dad working, a couple of jobs. I saw my mom doing what she had to do to make sure, we ate and had a good hot meal. Like, my mom used to get up and cook breakfast before we went to school. We had a lunch packed or whatever, an extra lunch or whatever packed. They had a hot meal when we came home, clothes, iron, everything. My mom took care of the house, and my dad was, the worker. So that's just how it was. It wasn't no, I miss my dad because he wasn't none of that, sad, stuff, whatever. That's just how it was. And just growing up, I think that just built something in me, that, if you work hard, regardless of what it is, you put in the work, it normally pays off for you. And then if you fail, hey, you can get up and, try again.
I guess from that point, to kind of expound on that, Coach Wallace, I guess what lessons or what do you take most that you just, from childhood to you growing up being a man like that you're giving back to your son? I know you got a couple, I believe. I know you got a young one, a little bit of older one, but what values are you teaching them as young men? And even, I hope this doesn't offend you, Coach, but even as young black men.
Yeah, no, not offended at all. But I got 4 kids, right? Yeah. Oldest daughter is out in LA doing what she wanted to do as she grew up. She wanted to be in the music industry, and so she's doing good in publishing. Got an older son that I can remember him, drawing a picture when he was 4 or 5 of like a dinosaur and a armor man, fighting or whatever, and he wanted to be an artist. That's what he is. He, graduated from SCAD. He lives in Midtown Atlanta. He's an artist. So he's, doing stuff, big things. Then my youngest daughter, she was always the one that kept everybody in line. She's a teacher. So she's doing her thing. She just recently moved to Florida. So she's teaching there. And then my youngest son, CJ, I can remember his mom literally calling me. She had like bought this, for Christmas. You used to get those little goals, little plastic goals that'll elevate up or whatever with the little nets or whatever, little hard plastic ones. And he was just outside the front yard, and she was like, "I think we got a shooter. And so I was like, he like 3. He's like 3 years old, but he was a lefty, so that made it special. But he liked basketball, and we went down that road with him. He got over to the school, ended up going and playing over at Life University for a couple of years. And after a couple of years, he said, "Hey, Dad, I'm good. I'm focused on school." He's in his junior year now. And so, but all of them, kind of focused on what they wanted to do. And I've always given them the reins, like, hey, whatever you want to do, trust me, you're going to have the support. You're going to have a support system behind you. I can remember driving way out to Cartersville for cheerleader practices and dance routines and dance practices or whatever, but that's what they wanted to do, karate and this, that, and other. So it was just, for me growing up, I said, once I did have kids, I was going to make sure that was a focal point for me, being there and being around, being involved, and like I said, nothing negative with my parents. That's just how it was,
Right, yeah.
Growing up in the 80s, that's just how it was. So fortunate enough to be able to do some of those things for my kids and be around, and then having a wife that's supportive of me and doing some of the things that I like to do. My wife, she done been to thousands of games and traveled here and there, just like she a little coach herself, so just being appreciative of that as well.
Now, the life question is, what's been your favorite part of this journey, whether it's coaching, life, like what's been, up to this point, what's been your favorite part of this whole journey?
Man, just hearing back from kids, staying in touch with kids that I've coached in the past. I've coached a ton of kids, and people, don't know that I'm not, the one to be posting pictures and, this, that, and the other. But, I got a kid that's flying through the gym at Michigan State. Everybody, I saw that kid at a freshman U camp, and that's Cohen Carr. I saw that kid at a freshman U camp, and I remember it. I told his mom, I said, "Hey, look, he can come play with us this summer. You don't have to worry about anything. You know, he was like an 8th grader, you know what I mean? But having a relationship, and still to this day, still a relationship with his mom, you know, last year when they were here playing in the NCAA March Madness, you know, and invited me down to go to a game. B-Rock, Brandon Rocksteiner, used to be at Virginia Tech, now he's at Colorado State. Al Wilson, they used to play at Norcross Christian. He's in Arkansas playing basketball right now. Christian Hernandez, Al Horford's little brother, used to play basketball with us, but they come in town like a couple of Sundays ago, we open gym, like, hey man, all y'all here, get in there, y'all run, have fun. But just being, you know, able to connect with the guys and, you know, them, you know, staying in touch. And like I told them, like, hey, this is a relationship, man. Like, I hope to get the text one day like, hey, coach, you know, I'm about to, you know, get married, you know, have my first kid or whatever. That's just building relationships and just continuing to build those relationships, even with these guys that we got now that are in school, you know, the Grants, the Zays, Isaiahs, you know, hey, I want to look at 10 years from now, you know, still having a relationship with them, you know, they feel comfortable that if they need something to talk about, they can hit me up and, you know, don't feel, you know, shame about it. You know, they feel like they can really talk. And just establish their relationship, man. That's what I get back out of. My wife asks me all the time, like, why do you still? And I mean, it's just that, you know, I get a pure joy out of kids, you know, seeing and believing in themselves and going out and accomplishing things. You know, like I said, I still talk to the kids at Mount Perrin. Yeah, I was at Mount Perrin the other day watching them play Mount Bethel. You know, just to go and just support the kids, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, just let them know, like, hey, man, keep believing, you know, like, hey, yeah, I miss y'all. Yeah, I do. But y'all built for it. Go do what you do. You know.
That's powerful. A couple more before we let you go, Coach. I think, so we talk about the journey. So I guess, like, how do you just, like you just said, how do you just, like, you know, wanting to be there, support the kid? Like, how do you separate, okay, I'm here now, I'm not messing with y'all no more, but how do you just separate that competitive part of the sport, but also being there for the kids? And like you just said, fostering and maintaining a relationship, even outside of ball.
Being real. Like any kid I've ever dealt with, I guarantee you probably go back to them, they'll tell you that I was real with them. You know, I'm a coach you like you need to be coached. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to tell you things that you might not want to hear. You know, I'm going to be truthful with you. You ain't going to be able to come back and say, like, hey, the coach was fake. You know, he wasn't real. You know, he said he was going to, I'm not that type of guy. You know what I mean? I've always been a guy that, hey, I believe in holding people accountable. I believe in being truthful, you know, with you. I believe in, you know, listening, because I'm not always right. You know what I mean? And understanding. And then just, you know, talking, receiving. You know, like, you can't always be the one that's giving and talking and not, you know, listening and receiving sometimes. I mean, I try to grow on something every day. You know, I search for stuff to read, search for stuff on it. I mean, if it a quote, a play or something, I'm trying to grow, you know, and I see it, you know, hey, schools or teams that I've been with, and kids text me like, hey, coach, guess what we ran tonight? We ran such and such. Oh, for real? Okay, cool. Yeah. I watch games and hey man, that look like that special thing we put in. Like, hey, cool, run with it. And then the guys come back, hey, yeah, we executed it too. Work perfectly. Hey, you prepared for it. So that happens sometimes.
That's true. Bacon, I'll throw it to you for just any last comments or questions for let Coach go. I know you got to get prepared for a game tomorrow too.
I'm already ready, dog. I'm already ready, bro.
Guru right here, man.
Hey, look, hey, bro. We ain't have a game this past Tuesday, so that they got their scout yesterday, bro. Like, hey, scout is out there, film is out there, business trip Friday night. Yeah, we ready. We
ready to go, Coach.
We ready. We are ready. For sure.
I want to ask you, Coach. This is a topic Naj and I have been talking about. Is just when you're so busy doing a lot of different things, is not necessarily finding a balance, but, you know, finding time to give yourself time to, whether it's just, decompose, relax, and pour into yourself. What has been, what is your process in that aspect?
Man, just finding time. Like I think my wife said something like, was it today? It may have been today. And she was like, hey, I know you don't have such and such a Sunday. Let's make sure we, go to church. Let's make sure, after church we do X, X, Y, and Z or whatever. And so just finding times like that, or, on holidays, making sure that, we leverage the time when, everybody's together, like for Thanksgiving, we made a decision. Hey, coach, I'm gonna be here for this game. I came in late this season, beginning of August or whatever, when we communicated and I came back on board. But I'd already planned to be, in Florida for Thanksgiving. So I'll be here for this game, but I'm gonna miss one, and coach understanding that and saying, like, hey, but I always putting family first, making sure you take the time, to enjoy your family, enjoy, your friends. And then when I go back home to Arkansas, man, like where I'm from in Pine Bluff, there's certain spots there, like I ain't getting no signal, bruh. Like it's a dead zone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, rest in peace of my grandparents, like they passed over the last decade. But like when I used to go home, man, my grandma used to have a certain spot for me. I was gonna be able to lay my head and do whatever. My grandma now didn't have no call waiting. So if you call them, you getting a busy tone. They ain't had no cell phones. They had a big 60-something inch flat screen TV and had basic cable. And I was like, Grandma and Granddad, y'all doing this TV a disservice. How you gonna have this big TV and it's like it's basic cable. Like it's like we looking at. I'm like, oh my gosh! But like, man, my grandma was still doing her. She was still writing checks, licking envelopes. Carlos, hey, you can come take me over here to drop these bill payments out. I'm like, what? Like, grandma, you can like, I'm like, I don't got no phone now. But so that type of stuff, like when I go back home, just that slowing down, just brings you back, like even and my youngest son gets it, like when you go home, like, hey man, I'm going over granddad on house and I'm gonna be in this room and he disconnecting, he knows it. Ain't no PlayStation playing. It's just a whole disconnection, man. It's just like, man, you get to unwind and, like I said, decompose and, really, think and, appreciate too.
Yeah.
Appreciate. I think that's what some people miss. They don't appreciate just being able to just slow down and, disconnect sometimes. Man, it's refreshing, man, sometimes, We have to drive 20 miles out to get, a signal again, but like, hey, once you're there, bruh, you driving in there, we got a paper mill at the crib, man, look, you can be asleep and that paper mill smell hit your nose, you wake up, you're like, oh, we in Pine Bluff. Paper mill hit your nose, man, it's a wrap, you home, but right. Yeah, it's joyful, man. It's joyful.
Nah, that's good. And them old TVs ain't nothing but Young and the Restless stories and games.
So, hey, Young and the Restless. Well, first off, you got to start off with In the Heat of the Night. Price is Right.
Price is Right.
And then it rolls into Young and the Restless. And man, I can remember them days sitting in my grandma and them house.
Like your little good times here and there.
Good times in the evening, good times in the Stampin' and Sun in the evening. But yeah, it was that whole road, man. Like I said, morning time, In the Heat of the Night, maybe a little gun smoke.
Yeah.
They go into their Price is Right, then they go into their soap operas, man. Young and the Restless, All My Children, One Night to Live, General Hospital. It was every day.
In that order, 100%.
Yeah, every day, man.
But we're going to let you ride with this one. Les Naj has a question for you. I want to ask you just about your experience, Coach. First time on the platform. I know you've been a Facebook viewer of this show, man. Just what's your experience of the Just As a New show?
Man, this is great, man. Like I said, I know y'all had a few guys on, and that's what it's about, man. Giving a platform to teams and schools that probably won't even get this opportunity. So the Woodstocks, even Coach Moultrie at Hillgrove, so those guys, they work hard. Coach Blair, Coach Moultrie, they work hard, man. So giving them the shine, and then just letting them tell you what that program is about. You know what I mean? You look at some of the kids as you talking to Jameer, back in the day. Just look at the progress, of those kids. You know what I mean? And that kid probably would have popped on the radar, for you all or other people later. But y'all talk to them before the season started.
Yeah.
So like just keep growing the platform. Georgia High School is big enough for everybody to have a little piece of the pie. Just keep tapping in the programs, man. This was great. I think it was great for the kids. I think it was great for Coach Matta. Coach Matta, this is not Coach Matta's thing, bro. Like I just knew Coach Matta would not come on. It would be like, hey man, y'all gonna handle that, go have fun. But he was like, Coach, I'm gonna do it. And so that's just different. Coach Matta is an old school guy. He's an old school coach, and so getting on and just seeing him get on, he's just embracing, the change and doing stuff that, the kids, enjoy doing. Like the kids get off on stuff like this, just being able to sit up and talk and enjoy and, speak for themselves sometimes. So for him to accept that, man, that was big on his part. And I think the boys enjoyed it. So I greatly appreciate it. I enjoyed it. And I'll be back, let me know. I'll keep pushing people to y'all too, man. So keep this thing going.
No, so tell Coach we appreciate him coming on. And tell him I apologize. I forgot that I put the old picture in the background, and I know it flashed. So tell him I apologize.
Oh no, he good, man. Yeah, he good. He good. No problem.
But nah, man, Coach Wallace, man, obviously, man, one of the best in the business, man. Hey, as I always say, man, as real as they come. And we appreciate you, brother. Like, we both been going through, just different things, man, which kind of, messed up our flow. But you had got us right, man, prior to the season and all the great guests. And now we're seeing these kids pop off. So, I mean, a credit to you, Coach. And we just appreciate your support. It ain't easy, but like you just said, you got to put your head down and work, man. So we just appreciate you entrusting us with our platform and allowing us this stage to kind of highlight these kids, man, and give them a little, just exposure.
Okay, anytime, man. Y'all let me know, and like I said, I'll keep pushing people y'all way, and anything y'all need, man, just holler at me. Y'all know how to get in touch with me. Like Coach Prime said, I ain't hard to find.
I like that, Coach. We appreciate you, Coach.
Yeah, have applause for that one. That's a good one. That was a good one, Coach. Appreciate you, Coach.
I appreciate it, man. Y'all be easy, all right?
You too,
Yes, sir.
Coach.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Coach Wallace, man. I know we got Coach Teagle in the background, one of our proud sponsors of the show, man. Sorry we kept you, man, for a while, man, but we're going to bring you on here in just a sec, Coach Teagle. But yeah, just real quick, before we bring him on, just a quick recap what you thought of it, Bacon, while a little 30 seconds before we bring on Coach Teagle.
Of the whole thing with the whole North Cobb episode, pretty much?
Yeah, man, and obviously Coach.
Yeah, I mean, us. Like you said, man, it's a grateful and a humbling experience. You know what I mean? I started with the humbling. That's probably what caught most people's ear. Just humble to people accept and receive our platform, especially Coach Wallace. And Coach Gregg Matta don't usually do this. I'm sure he heard from Coach Wallace about kind of what we do. Maybe you've seen a part of an episode. I'm like, yeah, I feel comfortable coming on with these guys, bringing my kids on. So that part is super humbling and super grateful, and why I'm gracious for it. To have people come on, like we got 75 live, man. People to actually take out the time of their day to watch us, and a lot of people like, man, 74 views, it's not 1,000, but it's an audience, bro. And I mean, people who just started, man, I wish I had 74. I only got 10. I only got 1 or 2. So you gotta be thankful, and gratitude goes a long way. So I hope that answers your question, brother.
For sure, man. But without further ado, we ain't gonna let him wait no longer, man. He been patient in the background, man. We're gonna bring on Coach Teagle, man. What's going on, Coach? You muted, baby. Yes, sir. You muted.
Salute.
Yeah, man. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? How you doing, brother?
Gee, man.
Living, absolutely living.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you coming on, man. Sorry about the wait.
Oh, you good? You good, man? I was just coming in from LaGrange, so you're good.
Okay,
Gotcha.
okay. What's the game tonight?
JV and ninth grade tonight. JV boys and ninth grade girls.
Okay. How did I can't remember his name. He's a short point guard on the JV team. He can cook. He's got a crazy right hand.
You talking about Gabe? He's a Gabe?
Yeah, he might be. He's
Yeah,
at the varsity practice from time to time.
yeah. I think you're probably talking about Gabe.
He's nice, Naj. I'm telling you, he's gonna be something.
Yeah, we got some nice guards coming up, man. Like it's about 2 or 3 of them that are pretty nice out there.
100%. So I'm gonna start with you. Kobe jersey in the background. I know that's your favorite player. I know this was strategic product placement.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Like this is like perfect. You seeing the Kobe in the background, Kobe all around me.
Nah, absolutely, man. So that was okay. You got us on the TV too. Hey, yeah.
Oh man, you already know, bro. You already know.
You see it back right. Product placement on 10,000, man. But you know what I mean. Just Georgia Elite Classic coming up. Let's talk about why people need it. Why people should sign up, man. What it offers to them.
I was sharing this today at the barbershop. Is that it's a great return of investment. And I feel like if you're going to be a part of a showcase, a camp, whatever it is, it got to benefit you. And I feel like going to our showcase is a great return of investment because college coaches are going to be there. You get the knowledge of college coaches, but also get eyes on you. There's places you can go to and have 16 courts, 18 courts, 20 courts, and you can be killing on court 17, but nobody looking at you. At our showcase, we got one court for a reason. We want everybody to see everything. So I'll share it with kids. You can perform well, we see it. You can perform bad, we see it. You can be digging in your nose, we'll see it because we on one court. If you go somewhere and there's 17 court, 18 courts, the chances of a coach really seeing you is slim, unless you're a 4 or 5 star. So the return of investment is that every kid will be seen by a college coach, and every kid and parent will get a chance to talk to college coach after their game, through our breakout session. But also, we implemented a thing a year and a half ago called speed dating, where each kid and parents will have a chance to talk to every coach that's in attendance as well for 3 minutes. So to why someone should be a part of it is the numbers. We're not generating 500 kids, we're generating 60 kids. Reason why somebody should participate. Last year in our 2 showcases, we had a total of 34 college coaches in 2 showcases. We had a total of 60 kids. So the return of investment is amazing. On top of the fact that we feed you and everybody like to be fed.
Absolutely. And a lot of parents, players talk to college coaches. And a lot of times people may be tense, they leave the table and like, man, I should ask coach this. Man, my son should ask coach. He should have told this to him. What would you say are some key things or key questions that they should ask?
So what we implemented 2 years ago is something to eliminate that question. We added Zoom calls before the showcase. So the college coaches that are participating in the showcase, where they're live or where they're watching on live stream, we do Zoom calls with them. So each kid, each parent have a chance to talk to the college coaches before they get there, and they have for a whole hour. So if you have a whole hour to come up with a question, the chance of you forgetting something the day of can be slim because you got a chance to talk to the coach before the showcase. So we kind of eliminate that problem by doing the Zoom calls beforehand. And like even for this year's showcase, we started Zoom calls at the end of this month to talk to college coaches.
So you get a Zoom call before the game, before the big day. You get to play on one court and be seen. How many people are there evaluating? How many coaches? How many scouts like yourself?
During our March and August showcase, you combine both showcases, we had 34 college coaches there.
34 college coaches. And are the coaches just evaluators, or y'all watching and evaluating too? You know what I mean, helping the coaches.
No. Some coaches would ask me like, "Tell me about this kid," or how the parents are, what type of kid they are, that type of stuff. But no, it's full coach evaluation. I stay away. We put the college coaches on one side of the court, parents on the other side, kids on the court, and everybody see everything. So unless they ask me about a certain kid, I let them trust their own eyes.
So you got a Zoom call before the big day. 34 college coaches present there to watch you on one court, and it's live stream too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's live stream and it gets reposted by the media team, man. That sounds like something I sign up for tomorrow, man. It's not about who's seeing you, it's about who's seeing you at the right time. I think this is the right time for people to see you at the Georgia Elite Classic. So with that being said, now I'm throw the mic to Naj and let him tap in with you.
Naj.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Coach. So, Coach, how do people, I guess, get signed up for this event if they want to participate? Is this an invite only kind of thing? Like, how does that kind of parlay for some of these kids?
It's a true invite only. Like it's not the showcase where you invite yourself. And our invites usually based off three things. Number one, academics, because we invite a large number of NAI Division three schools there as well, so they need high academics. Number two is character. There's kids that we won't allow come to our showcase because it's not worth it for our kids to perform. And there's one kid acting up, and the coach might don't come back. It's not fair to the class of 2027, class of 2028, class of 2029, or class of 2030. So character is number two. Number three is ability. So our ratio is number one, academics, number two, character, number three, ability. So you just can't just come up and say, I'm coming to your showcase. Like you got to be personally invited by me, Charles, Jamani, someone in our staff.
And then was one more time if you did talk about just when's the date of the just showcase?
We have two. We have one will be in Alabama. We're doing a showcase in Alabama, the River City Classic. We're doing in Decatur, Alabama, which is close to Huntsville. So we bring the showcase to Alabama. And the one in Georgia is March the 28th. It's in Newnan, Georgia.
Got you. And then obviously, Coach Teagle, for your showcases, why do you choose kind of just Alabama? I know Huntsville is kind of a hub and more people are tapping in. I know the basketball is very high there, but why do you choose those places to kind of put those kids on the map? I guess also for exposure.
They see the vision. The coach from Huntsville called me after this past showcase in August and saw the vision. So he requested it. I had to make sure that it makes sense for us to come to Huntsville. There's so much talent over there in Rocket City. So I definitely want to, but also just the areas. You're close to Tennessee. You're also close to Mississippi. You're close to Alabama. So our showcase is not designed just for that area, because even last year we had 3 kids from Alabama in our showcase. We had a kid from Florida in our showcase last year. So, but Huntsville is a hot area, overlooked, so it makes sense.
And then obviously talk about some of the showcases. I know obviously you had one of your, the football all-star game you did a great job with. I know a lot of media members. So obviously you're in football, basketball. I know you do multiple sports. So Mr. Teagle or Coach Teagle, how do you just balance all this, but allowing all these kids to get these opportunities, man, just to be able to go to the next level or just to even get noticed?
I understand my why, and God gave me that why in 2007. It's been giving me a platform, not just to bless kids locally, but bless kids across this country. But the other part is that it's a thing that God gave us this vision, and this vision is bigger than me. So when we do a showcase, it's a benefit for everyone. It's a benefit for our staff. It's a benefit for the kids. It's a benefit for the parents. It's big for everybody. So one of the things that God showed me over the years is that I'm gonna plant seeds, and the seeds are gonna bless a lot of people. So the showcase is not just for the students it's for the knowledge for the parents, but also for entrepreneurs, like a Bacon, like a Sleeper Media, like give them a chance to put their stuff out there. So the picture is bigger than just Eat for Life or Georgia Elite. It's for everyone that's attached to it. So I understand the vision that God's given me.
100%. So we talked about that. I do want to kind of parlay too. Just anything else you have coming up in terms of, I know it's still only January, Coach, and still figure things out, but anything you got going on as far as the summer, early fall, just things that people need to be aware of that's kind of coming up down the market for you.
Yeah, we don't stop. We have a comedy show coming up next month. Exit 47 comedy show is our 5th edition. Following that, we have a putt-putt fundraiser. We're raising funds for kids fighting cancer. Following that, we got the River City Classic showcase. We have the Georgia Elite Showcase. After that, a week later, then we have a basketball league that we have elementary and middle school kids, and that we do every year. It's a free league where you teach them the game of basketball, but also community collaborations. So those are things that are popping up. And of course, I'm a part of Big Noonan, which I think is the most overlooked team in the state, which is undefeated, that they're taking one game at a time. But I really believe they'll make a deep playoff run this year. So I represent Big N as well.
Okay, and you lead me to my next question, because I'd be remiss if I ain't asked you. So you talked about the Big N.
Right.
So let's talk about both sides. Both sides is doing their thing. We know the girls is really balling out. How good is this team? I know you watch them pretty much every day. So Like give us a little, not too much, but give us a little tidbit. Like what makes you think this team is different? They can win it all.
Well, I look at both programs. We start off with the girls program, whereas the JV or the varsity team, both of them have winning records. So we don't want to overlook the JV program as well. We're just down there in LaGrange to watch them play. With the varsity team, a young team, only two seniors. That's I said at the beginning of this year, the team can win 20 ball games. I still feel that way. The team can win 20 ball games. The team have a chance to host a first round playoff game. I still believe that. So as a team that's still young, I think just learning how to close out games. They got a big win last Tuesday over Banneker. Banneker beat them 3 weeks ago in double overtime, and Noonan played them this past Tuesday at Banneker and won by 18. So that was a really good, bounce back road victory that showed toughness and grit from the team. So the team have a lot of talented kids. That junior class is really, really good. Got really, really a couple talented sophomores as well. So do I still believe that this team can win 20 games? Yes. Right now, they're current, I think, 12-3. We have a couple games this week. We had both teams have Villa Rica and Lovejoy. And on the girls' side of things, Villa Rica and Lovejoy have solid teams. So it'd be two tough games, but once again, I think this team can win 20 games and host a playoff game. On the boys' side of things, I think that ninth grade team, that JV team, is extremely talented. Like it's crazy talent. Like I don't know how Coach White decides who plays and who stays on the bench. How much talent on that JV team. Just watched them play and kind of toyed. To be honest with you, I hate to say it that way with LaGrange a little bit. Just so much talent on that team. Have a great guard play that Arvin mentioned earlier, but also have some forwards and some wings that can play. So there's a lot of talent coming through there. That varsity team, I share with anyone who would listen for the last 6 months that this team would be the best Noonan basketball team that came around that I can remember. I believe that when you shoot well, we're a problem. We shoot well versus any team that's solid, we can beat them by 30 when we shoot well. And feel like, man, that's crazy. No, I've seen it. There's a lot of teams in our state that played against them, that our team during the summertime. A lot of teams that ranked right now in the state, and we gave it to them. So just to say, like, man, they 15-0, they really played. As anyone that played against them this year, and there's a lot of top 10 teams that probably listen to my conversation know they don't play Noonan over the summer and know this real. So even though the experts don't have them in the top 10, he's gonna be on the court with them, they know what's up. So to answer your question, the team is no doubt as a playoff team that can make a deep run. Would I be surprised if the team made Elite Eight? Not at all. Would I be surprised if the team went to the Final Four? Not at all. The team have a chance to make a run this year, a deep playoff run.
Well, I was fun about the Bacon. A lot of this obviously talk about a very talented group and bunch. Just real quick, just walk us through. I feel like they get always overlooked, but the feeder programs. Can you talk about just that level? Because I know the talent comes from somewhere. So how is the feeder programs at Noonan that allows this talent to come up and they're ready to go? They can play, even freshmen, or JV or even varsity as a freshman, or step up to that level even their sophomore year. Talk about the feeder program a little bit.
And that's one of our biggest investments. When I got the opportunity to be over basketball operations, one of the goals was to make sure our feeders program is straight. And what I mean by that, we got to make sure they're good. Because we know, like, the world we live in now, people want our kids. But at the end of the day, we want their kids too. So they're just part of it, right? But you got to make sure they're good. So even like yesterday, I got a chance to go by Smokey, talk to the head coach, Coach Holt at Evans Middle School, just to make sure we're good, make sure we have people to check on them. We talked about some team bonding opportunities after that. But the talent's there, like from Madras, Smoky Road, Evans Middle School. There's always talent, but you got to make sure that we take care of them, make sure they feel at home, and make sure they be Cougars in the future.
Well said. You made me smile multiple times in that conversation, man. I felt proud to be in the night.
You know what's up.
Yeah. Nah, definitely. Just want you to talk about Coach Gatz, man. He had an interview with, I believe, either EYA today, and was at 92-90 game last week. You know what I mean? Making his going on his PR run, for lack of better words.
I don't want to talk about Coach Gatz. How about that? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was going to segue so smooth.
When he got the job, I went into his office. At that moment, we was trying to make decisions about what Derrick's going to go with basketball and stuff. And I remember talking to him for about 45 minutes in his office, and I knew that we was not going anywhere. I saw the vision back then. This man eats, sleep, and breathe basketball. Just to be close, just to be on the floor and listen to Isaac coach, man, like he really know all the other team plays. Like he be calling plays out, like bro, like how much basketball are you watching? And I ain't saying this because I'm around a lot of basketball, but the knowledge that he have in basketball is phenomenal, like for sure. Like I said, I don't know what we're paying him. Like I don't look at stuff like that, but he worth every penny that we're paying him for sure. And if we ain't paying him enough, we got to find out some money to get him some more money because the guy's legit. He's legit. His heart is right. His wife Nicole is very supportive of the program. His two boys are always around the program. Look, Asher, I feel like is one of ours, like because he's always there. So just a great guy, man, that loves our kids. We talk. I probably talk to Coach Gax 3 to 4 times every day, just to check on him to make sure we're good with the basketball program. But he's amazing. The interviews that he's been getting, well deserved. The recognition. He just got 100 win the night before we played East Caida. So I think he got like maybe 107 now, whatever it is. We stopped counting now. But well deserved for sure. And just the whole staff, I'm in the group chat with them. I'm the only non-coach in the group chat. And we just chatted up, man. Like Coach Mario is so amazing with the program. Coach Wilkins has been there with Coach Gatz from day one. Amazing guy who just really just changed the game for us as far as the kids. Coach White, a military guy that really bring that discipline to the team. Coach Powell, is part of our ninth grade staff. So we are blessed just to have a really good staff as well. So now support staff from our booster club to our concession stands, people like it's a really good program for sure. We want better. We're gonna get better and we're gonna do more. But we are very blessed to have a really good program.
100%. Another thing we haven't touched on, you didn't say, but forgive me for not saying it. Derrick Teagle, also head of operations for Noonan basketball. Where do you see the program in the next 3 to 5 years?
Are we taking to another level? That's what I'm saying. Like we really going to invest in the middle school. Then we want to invest in the elementary school. Like we really going to take it to another level. I was sharing this with one of our student athletes tonight, Austin, a freshman. That man, like this is where it's at. Like people that know to be on the court with us in our county know to be running the county. But our goal is just not to run the county. Like we got bigger goals, so we just want to run the county. We don't want to beat our teams local. We want to make runs. We want to make deep runs and playoff. We want to win a championship. And to do that, we already have the local talent that coming towards us. We want to look good. We want to be a school that people have interest in on the academic side, but also the athletic side. And that's why we're blessed to have a Bacon Network doing a documentary on our team. Because, like I said, we want to be the school. It's okay to say that. Like I said, once again, the people that be on the court with us, the girls and the boys in our county, know that we run our county. But that's not our goal. We want bigger fishes. So next year, we're really looking for bigger fishes to play. For they understand that it's not a one-year run, it's not a hiccup, it's not luck, like we're here to say.
Absolutely, brother. This is really a personal question for me. The middle school system, middle school teams, they play locally. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And schools outside of the county that tend to travel outside of the district or counties. What's your thoughts on that? You think it's fine? Do you think, like I was talking to Coach Maxwell, they not, throw it off, but he was talking about a Pacific player. It's like, Bake, I'm gonna let him play where he's at. Let him enjoy the game of basketball, because once you get up to a certain level, it's all gas, no brakes. So do you think keeping the middle schools in the county is a good thing, or do you think they need to expand outward to see more competition and increase the work ethic?
I think the middle school season should be longer, personally. I think playing 5, 6 games, 7, 8, whatever it is not long enough. When I played middle school basketball at Central Middle School, which is now Smoky Road, we had an 18-game schedule. We went to Harris County. We traveled. We went a lot of places to play basketball. But back then we only had a couple middle schools. So do I think that we should play outside of the county? I wouldn't not say that. I just think we got to play more games. To me, it's 5 or 6 games is not enough. We're just getting to know each other after 5 or 6 games.
Right.
So do we have to go outside the county to do it? We don't have to. We just got to play more games. So that's just kind of my thoughts on that. And that's not just for basketball. I feel the same way for football as well. So would I be for going outside the county? I would. But it's, to me, just to play more games, get more reps, get to know each other better. To me, that part is better. But if they don't do that part, once again, that's on us as part of our staff. I can't speak for other schools in our county to make sure that we get our kids additional reps together. So if they won't do it, like we can figure out a way that we can do it as well.
I'm saying, throw it back to you, Naj.
So obviously talking about Noonan, the boys and the girls, obviously.
Big Noonan.
Big Noonan, my fault.
Big Noonan.
Big Noonan. Yeah. Talking about Big Noonan. So obviously you being in operation, I guess, not saying too much about your gig, but what would you say it takes in order to be kind of successful as the kind of overseer, of everything as you kind of do?
Communication, and also reading the room. What I say at games is because I want to hear everything. I want to hear the fans. I want to hear the coaches. I want to hear the players. I want to see the players. But also, I want to be the person when they come out the court, give them a high five. If there's a towel on the floor, I pick it up. Like, I want to be that person that I can see it all. So reading the room, so to me, the most important part is having communications. Like, I talk to Coach Sabatica from the girls program every week. I talk to the Coach Gatz every week, like face to face. But we do between the week, we do chats. Sometimes we're in the same group chats. Sometimes we're in individual group chats. So just to pick everybody's brain, but also getting to know their staff. Like, no Coach Sid from the girls program, no Coach Kaiser from the girls program. I talked to Coach Ashley yesterday from the girls program. So just getting to know, but it just don't stop there. I need to be in concession stands. So I volunteer for concession stands. I do concession stands at games just because I can read the room again. Are we selling the right food? Is the hot dogs good? Is the hot dogs bad? Like, you don't know if the hot dog good or bad unless you taste it. So I got to taste the hot dog to make sure the hot dog tastes good. So that part of reading the room and knowing like our product, all of it got to be good. You walking into the gym, the person taking the tickets, all right, the hot dog's good or not. We got to make sure all of that stuff is flowing. So my role is to check everything out, talk to people, but also be a tester. Like I tasted the hot dogs in our concession stands. I tasted the pizza. I tasted it very, very good. So we're good on that. So I need to do that to be over basketball operations. I got to do all of that stuff. But also, if there's someone need to pick up anything, I pick it up because once again, that's how I read the room, who we dealing with, type deal. So,
how long have you been in that role?
Officially July, I think July. Unofficially, I think July. I think officially maybe August per se. Because I had to go take tests and all that stuff. I had to cheat on some tests to get passed, and then they finally let me through.
You talk about the communication part, but if anybody that was maybe young, they want to do a role that you do, or just kind of be that cornerstone piece for their community, Coach Teagle, what would you say? I know you always talk about communication is key, being there, but what would you say to a young guy that aspires maybe to be kind of what you are for communities?
Copy and paste. I learned in 2007 that I copy and paste successful ideas and I apply it to my life, apply it to my business, my family. So copy and paste. If Arvin is doing things well and I want to do what he's doing, shoot, let me holler at you for a second, Arvin. But not only just holler, let me watch him. Let me watch what he's doing. How did he be in? How did he look at something? How did he produce that? Like, I should do that. If Arvin don't want me hanging out with him, I should hang out with Sleeper. So those things that I think is major. And that's why, like, anytime I have a chance to speak life into Arvin or Sleeper or anybody else that I'm connected with, David St. John, that does a podcast with me, like, to me, that's what I should be doing, per se. Even today, like, even Arvin told me today something, like, and I love that because, man, he checked me today, and I love that. Like, I love that. Like, man, no, we ain't doing football, man. You should have been there last week. It's almost what he told me, right? And I'm totally cool with it. Why? Because it's your show, right? So I just love that. I will say this, though, and I'm going to be real quick on the football side. Y'all getting that running back from Michigan, Haynes, boy, yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. I don't know if you and Bacon slipped some money into his pocket or what. That's a big hit right there.
You what that? We ain't got like that just yet, brother.
I'm done with football, but I had to say that. I'm done with football, but I had to say that.
Nah, you good. Nah, Coach T. That was them two $10 million donations from alumni.
I got it. Hey, by whatever means necessary.
hey, Coach, did you do that for the basketball program too, man?
Man, come on, bro.
I've got to give, man. They too talented, man, to be teammates.
Hey, man. I don't think I say the money been passed around a lot of places now, starting in middle school. So to get in where you fit in. It's a middle school transfer portal, right?
Yeah.
Best time.
Damn. It just ran.
Dog,
I
middle school
promise you
transfer
this.
portal.
I
Come on,
promise you
come
this.
on, Scoop.
I had a conversation with someone that probably listening to right now, and we talked about the elementary school. What's going on? Like it's real, man. These 9 and 10-year-old games is a recruiting tool.
What? Why are they recruiting that early? I said high school. People thought I was crazy when I said high school transfer portal. You know what I'm saying? Middle school?
Yeah, I'm talking about elementary, boy. We gotta get in there. But and the thing is, when they're doing it at 9 and 10, we gotta get in there too at 9 and 10.
Facts.
That is crazy. 9 and 10.
Can't be late to the table.
You're winning that table.
Hey, sports is different now. Sports is different.
Very different, man. Very different. And that's why, like, I mean this like seriously. That's why you gotta take care of your own. If you take care of your own, make sure they good, make sure they straight. They see the vision of your program. They don't say they won't leave, but the chance of them leaving is slim. But when you don't take care of your own, the world we live in now, like they got options. You know, like so they gone. So it's just very important that they know that you care about them, and they know you care about them. The chance of them leaving is slim. So that's why we got to get them in there. The 9, 10-year-old game. Like I'm at 7, 8-year-old games. You got to figure it out.
No, you ain't lying.
That's facts. I thought about you, Bacon.
Now, I wanted to run this by. I haven't told Naj about it. I just had this idea. I know the platform we have, what we're building is major. And I just see us streaming from events. It may not be this year, maybe a couple years in advance. It could be this year. Just having us at the Georgia Eliete Showcase, just, you know what I mean, being moderators, you know what I mean, talking about, you know what I mean, live media there, something like that. Like I said, just got the idea.
Yeah, why we can't do it this year?
It's a possibility. No, like I said, I just had the idea, brother. You know what I mean? We said we could definitely talk about it though for sure.
Philippians 4:13 said all things are possible through Christ. Let's do it. That's what it said. It said let's do it at the end.
Period.
Yeah.
100%. I think I had what I would tell
Hey, can we get Naj down below 85 South? Like Naj don't go below Atlanta, does he?
Nah, he come on, tell me yeah, brother. Tell me you on the south side, man.
I'm on the south side, man. I don't live on the north no more.
So he live on the south side?
I'm on the south side, man.
Oh, so
I
I
am
know
all
that.
in him. Yeah, man.
Have you been to Noonan before, Naj?
What you say, brother?
Have you been to Noonan before? Noonan?
Yeah. I scooped him. We went to a C1N trial. Yeah, I've been over there.
Okay. I won't send you some gas money. I want you in Noonan on the January the 23rd.
All right.
Langston game?
Yeah, send me your Zelle. I want to send you some money, man. I want you down there.
allegedly for the people who's big on the media ethics, allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Right. We'll talk after the show. I'll send you all those money on the Zelle. Straight up.
Trying to have me all the way out there.
Man, let me stop.
Oh, man. That's funny.
My bad, Bacon. My bad.
Nah, you good, brother. You good. I mean, I like how I was going. I was just getting ready to say, man, that's just you know what I'm saying. Well, that's just how it is, man. You know what I mean? People are like-minded that's trying to do something, to build something, to see the value, man, and to support each other, man. It may look foreign to some people who don't know what that looks like, but that's exactly what it looked like, and you saw it in real time. So that's why I say I think this platform is powerful, because you see different things. You see a cookie cutter. Not gonna say cookie cutter. You see it one way, you see it the other way. You know what I'm saying? But on the show, you get to see it from all ways, and that's why I feel like our platform is special, man. So again, throw the mic back to you, Mr. Teagle, man. Is any closing remarks, anything else you want to plug in?
Once again, just thank you for what you guys are doing. Like, I don't overlook it. I won't do a post on Twitter without tagging you guys, because I see you guys, like I really do. I told you, like last time I was on, one of my biggest things that I loved last year, that Naj finally followed me on Twitter. Like, that's like a big win for me. So once I got them in, I felt like my year was complete. But yeah, man, like you guys doing some really good things. You touch on a lot of kids' lives. I always give shouts out to media people, man, because no matter where you beat a Ram, where you're Cougar Time Podcast, where you stand in spiel, like whoever it is, Switch Scouting, like you guys are doing stuff to put kids' names out there, and that thing changed kids' lives. You know, like to give kids a chance to go to college, have their families out. So I salute all you guys for sure. So just want to say that, but also just in advance, thank you guys for supporting what we do as a nonprofit organization, but also what we do for Empire for Life. And the last thing, it's good, man, to see the growth of what you guys doing. Like I'm very proud. Like I'm like a proud father when I see your shows for sure. So just want to say that, and also, like I said, Big Noonan is here. So I just can't wait, man, to see you guys in the building. When Naj walk in the building, man, I'm gonna fall out. I'm gonna straight fall out. How people fall out there at church, no, I'm just gonna fall out. Because I know then we'll make it.
Nah, definitely make it a big spectacle when you come to the building, man. You know what I mean?
I'm falling out, bro.
Y'all look funny, yo.
I think this will be the first time Naj has been to a Noonan high school. You know, Woody County High School, we'll say it like that. So, you know what I mean? I'm just
Let me coming for real, Naj. I got you, man. Like,
have you been there?
I'm pretty sure I've been, Bacon. Come on, give me some
I don't
credit.
see you at Noonan.
I've been before, bro.
He been to Noonan.
okay.
He been Bacon. He been to Noonan. He been to Big Noonan though. We Big Noonan now. Mario,
I ain't been to Big
Mario
Noonan.
Houston
I've been
says
to
we Big
Noonan.
Noonan. So he been to Big Noonan yet.
My bad, brother.
I'm a coach. I've been to Noonan. I ain't been to Big Noonan.
My
You been to
bad.
Big Noonan. Yeah.
As they
So,
say here, great interview, Big Noonan.
Big
You know
Noonan.
the vibe.
when you come to Big Noonan, man, I'm gonna take care of you. Like buy you a hot dog, you just slice of pizza, nacho, whatever you want. I got you.
That's it, man. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, when Derrick Teagle, Mr. Teagle, when he sees and he believes in you, man, he supports you 100%, man. And that's not the main reason why we brought him on the show. You know what I mean? We brought him on the show because he gonna keep it real, man. And he is somebody who, you know what I'm saying, when you watch him, you hear him talk, you feel inspired, man. He pours into the kids. So, and you know, and also the other reason is we brought him up because the Georgia Elite Classic is around the corner, man. If, like I said, if you're having problems getting recruited, your kid's good, but he ain't getting no traction. I'm trying to tell you, look no further than to the right. If you're football and Power for Life, which is all under the same umbrella, but if you're basketball, Georgia Elite Classic at Noonan 30263 exit 47, you can't miss it, and that's where you're gonna get discovered at. So please, if you haven't heard us, please definitely tap into that showcase and hit that link right there and get a Power for Life.
I like that. It's smooth, man. It's real smooth. It's smooth, Bacon. I like that.
I'm working. Believe me, man. It's I received that. I just said I received that, but appreciate that, man.
Love it, Naj. Love it. Yeah,
Yes,
when you
sir.
come down, man, just hit me up, Naj. I got you, man. Like for real. Whatever you want that night, you got it. Whatever you want that night, I got you.
He like, man, we gotta get you out there.
right.
Oh, man.
Money no object. Wherever you want, I got you.
I got you, brother, for sure, man. I got you.
Oh my goodness. All right, brother, man. We appreciate you coming on the show. I don't even know if we'll hop into some of these topics. Probably hit one or two. We didn't have too many. But thank you coming on, my friend. It's always all love, man. I'm probably gonna text you and call you after the show.
Okay, that's fine. I'll be up for a minute. That's fine.
All right, brother. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
All right, take care.
Yes, sir. Much love.
Had to throw a little applause his way, man.
I like that, brother. I like that. You know what I mean? Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, the viewing audience doesn't just like it. They love it, man. We got Eddie in the chat. I seen we had. Well, this is just okay, man. I ain't see my brother was in here. Big Charles, man. No one is doing it like this, big. Like this. So my good partner Charles, I believe that's I think him and Mr. Teagle are related, if I'm not mistaken. But appreciate you tuning in, Brother Wood, Coach White, Kendall, and Gabe, and Jimmy. What up, fellas? Carver Columbus, Stepper, GG, North Cobb Christian. Big Faces, man. Shout out Big Face, man. Big Face has been doing it for a while, man. They do a lot. They do a lot of great things. I believe they were at Jonesboro. The first year they did Coach Sherb did the immediate day. I saw Big Faces, and I haven't seen them for a while. So appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate you tuning in, brother. Let's connect more often, brother. I love what you do, man. You're always supporting the network and the kids, not just in Noonan, but abroad, brother. So appreciate you tuning in. All right, brother. Let's get into some of these topics real quick. Let's see. Overtime Elite has brought in Landry Fields. Landry Fields, if you remember that name, used to be the former GM, used to be the GM of the Atlanta Hawks. So, brother, just what's your thoughts about OTE politicking locally and keeping and bringing a former NBA player to now, or former GM to the Overtime Elite ranks?
Yeah, I think just continue to try to expand what they got going. Obviously, it's a player-led kind of a league. We know Katie got it. A little bit of stake in. I think I seen maybe Melo. Obviously Donovan Mitchell. I think just continue to try to expand the league and what they're trying to do for high school basketball, being an outlet that players can come to, televising pretty much all the games. So yeah, having him as kind of head basketball operations, that's going to continue to expand. He was at one point with the Hawks. I know it didn't work out obviously in that way, but I think it's going to continue to help expand the league, bring in more talent. We know they're bringing in overseas talent now too, Bacon, with some of the showcases they have in Germany, and things like that. And also we're seeing an expansion of the game. I don't know if you heard about it, Bacon, but I think the NBA, FIBA, the International Federation of Basketball, are looking, to have a league, a European league. I think of a 12 or 16 teams, I believe it is. We continue to see that expansion. NBA be heavily involved. I think with a 50% stake, and then the rest is like kind of, obviously featured out with everybody else. And they're supposed to close on that. I think 2027. That's supposed to start. So that's just obviously I know it's a side note, but that just shows the expansion of the game. So I think you're going to see more of that, and I think you're going to see it obviously with OTE as they continue to expand and kind of allure that European talent over here.
No, yeah, it's big. I think what people often what they don't realize about Landry Fields is he was one of the fastest rising executives. He didn't spend he started out with the Spurs, if I'm not mistaken, was a scout, then was an assistant GM or something to that effect, and then boom, was a GM for the Hawks. So obviously, somebody who understands the game of basketball, what it needs, and is well connected and well respected. So we bring that over to Overtime Elite, man. Like I said, I think you just said, I think the sky's the limit. I won't be surprised. NBA and Overtime Elite are already intertwined, but
they are.
It's I'm gonna say it's kind of tough to understand where the game of basketball is going to go, and not in a bad way. I think in a good way. Like you just brought up about Euro players being more intertwined to how things are going, and for better or worse, how people feel about G League or former NBA players playing in college basketball. It's just crazy where I just think the game of sports, but specifically basketball, because of the podcast show we're on, and just how the whole sport is going to evolve. I think it's going to be totally different in the next 10 years. But Nasir Anderson getting a lot of attention right now, or has been getting a lot of attention since he really moved up from Savannah to Wheeling, to Norcross, now Prolific Prep. We're going to look at some of the schools who are staying the most in contact with him for his services come that time of 2028, I think 2027. Not tagged. But the schools that he's most hearing from right now are Kentucky, Coach Pope, Indiana, Georgia, Tennessee. Not surprised to see that. You know what I mean? Already being held in the same regards as Anthony Edwards. I'll be surprised to see him following the same footsteps. So just want to get your thoughts on this too, my friend. Do you think Georgia is the early leader because of the whole Anthony Edwards mystique?
No, not necessarily because of Anthony Edwards, but I do think they are an early favorite for his recruitment. Think about it. You just kind of alluded to it with him being from Savannah, him coming all the way over from Savannah to Norcross, playing for obviously the Blue Devils before, like I said, popping off this summer, becoming so big, and then ended up leaving for Prolific Prep. And he's kind of talked about it in interviews that, how he feels about Georgia and playing there. And I think Bacon, the big thing is the allure of the program right now, right? I think they're 14-3, I believe it is right now. They just had their first loss as a buzzer beater late to Ole Miss. They beat Auburn this year, who's obviously one of those staples in the basketball world. So when you see Georgia and the level they're playing at, Jacob Wilkins, he's staying in state and going there. Jeremiah Wilkinson, who was, here in the state, Skill Factory, McEachern, went to Cal, transferred over. Soda Cyril, who was over there at OTE, he's having a pretty a good season. So when you see that program is rising, say what you want, Bacon, potentially a second year in a row, which I think will happen, making the NCAA tournament. They sit in a very good spot. Now, I don't know if they got the cachet or the money to pay with this new NIL era, but they're definitely, I would say right now, the current leader. Tennessee, you can't really go wrong with Rick Barnes. You know they're going to have the paper in order to bring you in. They've been producing players at a high level. You'll probably play. We'll see how many. I can't think of his name right now.
You said about Nate?
No, Manny.
Green?
Yeah, there it is. I couldn't think of his last name. Yeah, Manny Green. We know he's going there. I don't know if he'll be there when Nas gets there, but that looks enticing for him. Coach Rick Barnes always gets the best out of his guards, so we've seen that the last few years. Kentucky is Kentucky, even though they're struggling this year. They paid $20 million for that roster, and I think they're 10-7. So they're struggling mightily this year, which is a little bit of a disappointment under head coach Mark Pope. But Kentucky's Kentucky at the end of the day, so they'll always have a head in the race. Indiana's a little interesting, in my humble opinion. I know they've been known as a basketball school, haven't been the best, I'm saying, the last few years, but he can help turn the tide. But to me, the leader right now has to be Georgia.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Anthony Edwards send a little check over somebody, break it up. I think it's just good for Georgia basketball if you can keep Anderson in the state, man, and not just Nasir Anderson, but other players in the state of Georgia. Like we just talked about Georgia Tech, about them underachieving this year so far, and Georgia continue to trend upwards. So it's just gonna be good if we can keep everybody in the state. So that's the latest on Nasir Anderson, and we'll keep y'all updated with that recruitment as things unwind. New news: we were expected to see London Johnson play for Louisville this season, per Joe Tipton. I think just yesterday, he will no longer be playing this year. He will continue to redshirt for Louisville, which to me, I when I first read, I said maybe the NBA or the NCAA commission will come in and probably negate his move to play if he decides to wait. But now thinking about it, I mean, it looks like they may just keep things going and let players come back and play in the college ranks. So, how do you feel about him continuing to redshirt? I mean, he's got to have the skill to play right now.
Yeah, he does it. It's just it's not a good time. I actually have pulled up a quote for you. I wanted to read to you. Yeah. Let's see. Won't play this season. Okay, he said, "I want to first start off." This is the head coach, Pat Kelsey. Says, "I want to start out talking about the London Johnson situation. First thing, I want to take responsibility. Issue, you guys. You're all professionals, and I really value how hard you work and stuff like that. It could have been handled a lot better, and I think that starts with me. We really tried to fix and find a solution to some of the depth problems that we have on our team. Michael Brown being out, Ryan Conwell getting hurt. We had those initial, obviously, conversations with London. But basically, the synopsis of it all is, he felt like they were hitting that middle of the season. He don't want to rush him back. He didn't really know, their terminology, the scheme they wanted to run, and forcing him in with only 2 years of eligibility. He didn't feel comfortable putting him in that spot, especially with the season. As you know, Bacon kind of hitting that midway point. We got 2 more weeks of January, February, and then March is here, right? Which is the tournaments, conference tournaments, and it's starting to wind down. So I don't think he wanted to screw him over. And then also Johnson, per the article of 0-3, was starting to have kind of reservations and second thoughts as well. So all of that played a huge factor, obviously, in it. I think it's a good move not to play him. Don't waste his time. Obviously, it sucks having Michael Brown hurt, which is the reason why he was even in that conversation. Ron Conwell's also been banged up, which has hurt Louisville in their season this year. But yeah, I wouldn't rush him back. If he's able to come and play next year, I would do it like that. He get a fresh start, go through the offseason with the program, train. I think it obviously looks better. We'll see what coach or what Charlie Baker does or Becker does, in terms of the NCAA president. They had something else that came out today, Bacon, in terms of betting and point shaving. Like 39 players got suspended, I believe. I think I saw earlier today. So it's a lot going on in NCAA basketball. They ruled out that player we talked about, Trenton Flowers, not allowing him to play if you sign an NBA contract. That's it, which I love. Like, you got to blur some lines somehow. So it'd be interesting to see if he keeps that eligibility. You know what I'm saying? But I do think, I know they're all professionals, Coach Kelsey said, but you have to have some way to kind of blur that line. To not really allow them to. I know they missed out on college. They went to G League, but there needs to be some kind of blurred line, whether that's even overseas. Okay, hey, you can play. Let's say you play professional ball. You 16. Overseas. Fine, you did that. You can go play. You're 16. You're young. But I think once you hit a certain point, I think you shouldn't be able to go from that and be able to play college ball. That's just me.
21.
Maybe even 20. I'm saying, no, that's not saying like if you come from high school, if you want to do the full 4 years, yes, that's fine. I'm saying I don't think if you made the decision to go professional, I don't think you should be able to come back down and profit off of what's going on in college basketball because you're making more money. Right now, I get it, the one and done rule, but I think once you make that move, you should know, you should be ready. Once you make that move, you should uphold to that move, and I don't think you should. That's just my personal opinion.
For 100%, hold them to a higher standard. I think that's good. Absolutely, brother. Great insight on that, man.
Sure.
NBA, man. We want to touch on some NBA topics. We would touch on the Kaminga topic when tight on time. I know brothers got something things to do. I want to call Mr. Teagle before it gets too late. But we will talk about the Atlanta Hawks. A lot of people, myself included, when we made the trade last year, trading Derrick Queen for Asa Newell, who traded the pick to New Orleans. I know I was like, man, what are we doing? We're trading another first-round draft pick. We were still trying to build this team. At that time, we didn't know what Trae Young was going to do. All right, my friend. We didn't know what we were going to do. So, because I was thinking New Orleans was going to be good. You got DJ, what's his name? DeJounte Murray. We thought Zion Wilson was going to be good this year. Derrick Queen, CJ McCollum. It's going to be a good team. So I'm like, man, it's not going to be a good pick. So anyway, the point I'm getting at is Hawks are slated for a top 3 pick this year. As you know, the top 3 players, AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa, and Cameron Boozer. So
don't forget about Keller Wilson now.
Yeah, you're right. Can't forget about Keller Wilson. Yep. Yeah, he's slated in lottery, not lottery, mock drafts is top. They got him in top five.
I've seen some top 2.
You see him top 2?
I've seen some top 3.
Top, really? You see him go to Atlanta or whoever they have at third spot?
Yeah.
Nah, he's not definitely. I think for the Hawks, and we can get into that conversation too. We got a lot of wing forwards. DeBonsa be the most be more ideal. But you know what I mean,
I feel like they already got enough DeBonsas though. Ace Newell. I mean, you got Jalen Johnson.
Yeah,
I don't feel like that fits you. I feel like y'all should get Darren Peterson. That's just me.
You think so?
Yeah, man. Scoring guard that can kind of play off a little bit of Jalen Johnson, what he's doing, Dyson Daniels. Yeah, that's more of a better fit to me than, like you said, the wing forward. Even though he can play point, DeBonsa can, but he's running among that same thing again. Y'all don't need more of that. Y'all need more guard play.
My thing is, you're talking about Jalen Johnson run more of the point. And I need to watch more Hawks basketball. I saw highlights to really gauge how he's really running the point. Yeah, he's averaging like probably 9 assists a game. But is he running can he really run and facilitate that offense? How much strain is going to be put on his body? Yeah, you get assists half court, you hit an open man swing, throw some lobs. He's good for that. But who is going to run that offense? And I'm not sure if Darren Peterson is that guy. I'm not even sure if DeBonsa is that guy. I just know he plays more of that style. But that's a good point.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? If we're really trying to rebuild and retool, obviously Trae Young, it didn't work out. Obviously, it is what it is. But I think getting that bigger guard, and I seen this game last night. They beat the brakes off of Iowa State, and bro, they didn't have no answer for him. So it's like, I ain't saying that's going to immediately translate, but at least you get a guy that can score. If you want Jalen Johnson to run the point, okay, let him play the 2 guard. Darren Peterson can easily play 2 guard for you. Then you still got Asa Newell, that can set up. You still got some young bigs as well that can kind of fit into the fold. I think you guys need like an aggressive scorer, but can also create for others. I think that's Darren Peterson. Like you said, I don't think y'all need more wing forwards. Y'all have checked that box.
Yeah, for sure. As much as Cam Boozer really stimulated my mind. But yeah, for sure. I agree with you, brother. So we will squeeze it in, man. Mr. Teagle say, I'm good, brother. You good? So we'll talk about the whole Kaminga situation, man. Obviously, again, it feel like he's requested another trade forcefully. Things have just progressively gotten worse per the ESPN reports. But why, as an organization, as a head coach, do you keep continuing to bring? Well, just what's your thoughts on the whole situation? Let's start there first.
Monica McNutt came out and said she thinks Steve Kerr is probably going to be gone. I don't know how soon, but maybe after this season. She had that take. I can see that had to pull up with Draymond. Not saying Draymond ain't culpable. Obviously, he is, and things he's been dealing with. But I mean, I think Golden State's organization did everything they could. They gave him money. They extended him. He was in the starting lineup. I haven't watched a lot of Golden State basketball to know, you know what I'm saying, how much he's been playing and things like that. But I would say, like, you know, I think Kerr, like, he's kind of screwed himself in that situation, which is why he wants to trade. Because, like, okay, I got my money, but y'all still not allowing me to, like, flourish into a player I could become. Y'all have this very limited role for me. And it's like, you know, I should be playing more. I should play significant minutes. But again, I can't say because I haven't watched them play basketball this year like that. Maybe like a game or so. But you know, I think it's just the lack of not letting him play like those significant minutes. And it's been happening for years. And he's like, yo, I'm at my 5th, 6th year. I'm supposed to be the young guy for y'all. And it's never materialized. And it feels like Kerr's been in this situation where he has not been able to loosen the reins where the young guys can come in and kind of integrate themselves with Steph. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, he's going to have to pass the torch eventually. I'm not saying Steph shouldn't be Steph, but I'm saying I think he's having a hard time still ingratiating those guys into it where they can have defined roles in playing significant time that makes it easier for Steph. And at this point, you should have that. Moses Moody's been in the league for a while now. Pajimski's been in the league for a while now. Kuminga's been in the league for a while now. You should have defined roles for them. And I think that's why you see him demand a trade. It's just like, bro, I'm not finna going through this season after season, barely playing, barely seeing the court, sitting on the bench. Like, yeah, that's not the move.
Yeah, I agree. Even before that, James Wiseman, though, Jordan Poole was different. But maybe not trade him. But I mean, actually, after that incident with Draymond, I feel like you had to trade him. But that's been my problem with Steve. I think he's a great coach, but just doesn't seem to take that next step as a head coach, like you just said, develop the talent. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go. I really like Steve Kerr. Really speaks up oftentimes, and for social issues, him and Coach Popovich did that consistently where other coaches wouldn't. So I definitely respect him and appreciate him for that. But I just think, yeah, you gotta let people get skin in the game. You gotta let them bump their head. You gotta let them do different things. So I mean, I can understand why he's frustrated, and hopefully they get some value for him because he has no value too much other than his potential upside because you haven't been able to see him play. So that's my thoughts on that, man. Any last remarks or anything you want to talk about specifically before we let the people rock?
No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, this has been another edition of the Just Sizzling News Podcast, basketball edition, where we are at every Thursday at 8 o'clock. You can catch us again on Mondays at 7 for our hit show, The Football. And now we do have sound effects. So that should do something for your fancy going forward, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Bye, love.